Welcome back, everybody, to the grand final of the Nations Cup. We got our grand final going on, and apparently the camera wasn't ready for this one. I'm not ready either, to be honest. This is going to be pretty high. Best of a 7, Tim.
That's right. The best of the best in this tournament has made it to the grand final, and we have some amazing players, some amazing teams in front of us representing their nations, and it's a complete treat to be here.
Exactly, and we're starting things off with the Germans. Obviously, on the left side, we have North America, and it's going to be a real highlight. NA fought their way back through the losers bracket. Germany coming from the winners bracket, having a bit of an advantage, but this is definitely going to be an absolute nail-biter.
Not a single loss for Germany. 9-0 this tournament so far.
And before we start things off, we got the German national anthem to introduce the German team.
So heartfelt.
I absolutely love it.
This is your mother's nation right here?
It is.
This is the music?
This is hitting home.
It's beautiful.
It is, I know.
It makes me want to hear mine.
Yeah, I think you're going to get yours.
Wow, was that a cymbal crash? Wow, you are such a maestro. He's out here bobbing his head to it all. Germany, of course, has been fantastic this tournament. We have loved every moment of it, and we hope to see more from them. But of course, on the opposing side, Khaldor, a team that has continued to fight their way through the losers bracket. They have learned and adapted. They have continued to showcase why they were the champions in the 2022 Heroes International. It is Team North America. Now this is our Mother Nation song right here.
You're gonna zoom. I don't get why I don't get a camera for everybody.
Look at that man, Madora. He's quickly becoming a favorite player of mine. Legacy. He's like, all right, man, let's just get in. I want to play some video games.
I'm scared to look at it. Yes, there we go.
There it is.
Peer pressure at its finest.
That's right. A salute.
Oh,
North
awesome.
American representatives playing for the United States. We had to go for it. We just had to. Can you blame us?
It was so good. Yeah, exactly. We thought about it. It was like, come on, let's just do it. It's going to be good. Absolutely fantastic. So, NA and Germany. And guys, I got to say, Nations Cup is so super fun. People cheering for their country here. We had it the entire time. You might even hear it in the background. Yeah, I can hear it from the stage. It's just crazy. The Swedes, they went bananas the entire time. Germany, of course, well represented since we are in Berlin. But even the US boys, I mean, they've been on fire. They've been hyped. There was a lot of motion coming the entire event.
I mean, that third place match that Sweden was falling victim to the United States in a 3-2 was impressive to watch. I was sitting there in the background there. I'll admit, I was a little tired. It's been a long couple of days.
Yes.
I thought I was off to a little bit of a nap. I woke up in game number 2, and I was glued to the screen the entire time. I didn't even need caffeine, as they showcased some incredible matches, and it went down to the wire.
It's also, I heard that Kevin also had a little bit of a nap here. The guy has been absolutely working his butt off the entire time, before the event, at the event, after the event. Been here first day in the room, last day out, and then you're just sitting there, the lights on and everything throughout the entire week. So yeah, he serves a bit of a nap. The guy has gone way beyond. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, big shout out to him. And you guys should be super thankful, because without him, all of these events would not have happened.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. You have been awesome. It's so great to be here, as well as he's been inviting us out and then getting everyone set up and hyped up. Okay, so we have a crowd in front of us, but we also have incredible matches in front of us. A best of 7 series, and this is how we got here, Khaldor. Germany starting off against Poland with a 3-0 victory.
Yeah, Germany just blasting through that upper bracket. 3-0ing Poland, taking Korea down without dropping a map, and then Sweden didn't stand a chance either. I was actually talking to Dino a little bit. First I started talking to Ultralisk, and I was like, dude, okay, so you have to give me a 4-6. Like, take him down, but drop 2 maps so I have a couple of games to cast. I want this to be super interesting. Let's make this happen. And Ultras just looks at me and says like, you gotta talk to Dino. And I tried the same thing, and I was like, dude, do you know that if we defeat them without dropping a map, we are undefeated in the entire tournament? I was like, yeah, but like, can we drag it out? He's like, no. All right, German efficiency. So Germany, they have big plans. They want to take this without dropping a single map, but the United States, they of course, they have a different agenda here, and they had A very interesting route towards the grand final.
I mean, just look at the numbers here. Whenever they had their first matchup against Sweden, it was a 3-2 in favor of Sweden. They were dropped the losers bracket. They were able to 3-0 Poland late into the night as they were able to pull that off. And then they faced off against South Korea. It was a close match, but 3-1 for the United States. And then they had to face off against Sweden, who had previously beat them. That means prior draft knowledge, prior fighting, all that information comes to fruition, and it was a series for the ages. Actually, you guys can check out the replays that are on if you get the chance. They pulled out the W with some unorthodox compositions, but fun ones.
Yeah, absolutely. And now that they had a bit of a longer break, could get something to eat, just a bit of a pause and relax. They were apparently super hyped. I talked to some people that met them outside, and they said, like, these guys are hyped up. They're absolutely intense. They really want this. They are going into this final clearly with the idea of taking on the Germans now, not only making sure that Germany drops their first map in the tournament, but also trying to claim victory with a quick 4-0 themselves. So this is going to be a highlight.
I mean, they're defending champions as well. That also is on their shoulders. And Germany, Hostelubs was actually on a team that was in the Heroes International for 2022, and they fell out pretty early. So this is a bit of a redemption story for them.
Yes.
And it's here in Germany as well. Like, the stories are just so great for this. Something to note is that we do have a few banned out heroes for this match, and Murden will be added to it here for the grand finals, thanks to your support at home.
And Anubrak.
Oh, and Anubrak as well.
10 heroes in total. So thank you once again for supporting the event here. All 10 heroes. The maximum is banned out. And that's going to make for some juicy drafts, as we are talking about drafts, heading into the first one.
I am so sorry, tank players. Your tanks are slowly getting whittled down.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Towers of Doom will be Battleground number 1 in this best of 7 series. This has proven to always give us great matches, and it's a great one for us to start out on. Now, let's go ahead and head on to it. Let's get this series underway.
Well, here we go. The grand final, ladies and gentlemen. The Nations Cup coming slowly to a conclusion. It is the best of 7 between Germany coming from the winners bracket and the United States fighting their way through the losers bracket, getting revenge against Sweden, who are now 3rd place in the tournament. 10 heroes in total are banned, and especially supports and tanks have been hit pretty hard.
And what's been interesting is how we've been watching all these drafts and bans really unfold. We started to get an identity for each team. When you look at the United States, it's been Urel and Chromie and Tracer being a main focus for a lot of teams to ban them out based on the battlegrounds, and Germany answers in kind with that right away. Chromie banned out. Madara is incredible at that character, but what they're really good at is if they get set up on a bell tower, they'll set Chromie and a couple of her time traps up, and it's hard to break through, so they want to get away from that.
What is really interesting to me also is what's going to happen with Urel. We highlighted Liam and his Urel plays a lot. Sweden thought when they played on Towers of Doom that they could let her go through, and they were immediately punished for it. Because, of course, once you have the variation where you just ban the hero out, you can pick it away from the opponent. So Germany has to really think this through. Is it something they feel they can deal with, or do they just deny it to the opponent's team?
I like Sweden's approach about that, actually. In Game 1, they let Urel through, and that gave them a chance to have a strong top laner as well to compete with Leoric, and that was the plan. Obviously, it didn't work out for them, but I appreciated the idea. It's different ways to handle how do we deal with this whole draft format for the tournament.
And also, they decide to not go for Urel here, but you look at Nick and his early pick into Diablo, and it's immediately flashbacks to matches that they played previously, where he just bullied everybody into walls, one body move after another. So now, on the other hand, we get Garrosh and we get Medivh. I don't know why, but I'm looking at every single pick here, and we're still talking about completely normal heroes, and I'm already thinking like, oh, this is going to be good.
Yeah, what's interesting about this, too, is we have to think about later pickups in the draft, and Medivh Stitches has been a main combo for the United States.
Exactly.
They've been using that cheese, in quotation marks, to take down a lot, and I would say it's not a cheese, it's just a well-executed strategy they've been pulling off. But they switch it up on themselves here by putting Garrosh in for the main tank instead, and that changes the whole dynamic of this draft.
And you then see, for example, Tracer coming in and also Malfurion. It's something that a lot of teams really respected when it was played by the Germans or other European teams. South Korea comes to mind. South Korea came in, banned out Tracer. They said, we are not dealing with this. We've seen how it works. We've seen how good you are with that. That is not going to be a thing here. And now it's let through on map number 1 right away. So there's so many layers already to it. With the special rules that you cannot play a hero more than once within a series, or generally speaking, a hero can't be played more by either team more than once in a series. Once that Medivh is out, you cannot go for that Stitches composition anymore that you pointed out. It's not going to happen that you just kidnap a hero, isolate them, and then take him down there. So every single pick doesn't only matter for the series at hand, but also for everything that you might have planned for later on in the match.
Now, Tracer's great at executing and finding kills with her pulse bombs and diving forward, especially if people are softened up. And who is very good at softening up opposing teams? Sergeant Hammer.
Yeah.
The United States gets rid of her. It's also a strong pickup for Germany in general. Germany answers back with a Cassia ban, one that can actually blow up Tracer if she gets a little bit too far up and tries to drop the pulse bomb. Then suddenly Cassia responds back and gets the damage in. So Germany locking in a solid draft so far, and now the United States is going to be showcasing what exactly are they doing with this Garrosh Medivh composition.
Yeah, exactly. There's Yrel. I don't think that was surprising anybody. Liam, whenever he has a chance, he's going to pick it. This game is no exception. They even delayed her a bit in the draft, and together with that, they pick up Sylvanas. So already, very, very strong draft for them here in game number 1.
For both.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with 10 pre-banned heroes now, everybody's, of course, hoping to see Game 5, Game 6, Game number 7, where things could get really crazy. There's a little bit of a tank choke going on at some points. We've also seen the support pool whittle down slightly. So teams really have to think outside of the box as the game progresses. And now Germany with Li Ming looking for resets. Li Ming Tracer as a combo, and for the rotation between the top and the mid lane, we get Hazops on Leoric, which is exactly the same hero that he played in the previous series. And he did have such a big impact with him.
I mean, he played Leoric against Yrel, and he bodied the character. It wasn't Liam's Yrel, but it was still a showcase of how strong Leoric can be on this map. The double soak is wonderful if he hits those drain hopes, he locks it down, but the rotations that we've seen from both these teams benefit the side laners so much. Stukov comes in here, and Stukov has been a main focus for North America today, and we literally have the best possible blades here to duel with here in game number 1. What insane drafts for both teams. I can't pick a winner.
Yeah, honestly, there's so many layers against it. And also another thing that we haven't even pointed out yet, you see that Malfurion together with Tracer, and your mind, of course, immediately goes to he's going to support her so well. This is great for Tracer, can play much more aggressive. But it's not only that. You have Medivh on the other side, and Malfurion is just so good at controlling these portals. You're going to try and set those roots up so that any hero that tries to enter or leave a portal is immediately being stuck and becomes a target for the rest of the team. So fantastic draft from both teams for game number 1 immediately, as we're slowly heading into Towers of Doom.
And before we move into this, another thing that we need to focus on, we talked about the side laners, the tank play is so important for every single team composition that you have in Heroes of the Storm. And Uninverted at the very beginning of the tournament, I was a little bit worried about him. He seemed a bit shaky, the confidence wasn't quite there. He has grown so much over the weekend and showcased why he's been picked up for this United States team. I can't wait to see him against Nick, who is straight up a silent assassin. He's one of the players that we always talk about when it comes to DPS, and he's been filling tank role for this entire tournament, and he has been stellar. So let's jump into it. Here on the far left, the honor is yours, Mr. Khaldor.
On the left side, we have NA with Cure playing Medivh, Unaverted on Garrosh, Liam with Yrel, Madara on Sylvanas, and Legacy for the United States is playing Stukov.
And to the far right in the red, on their home turf, Hasselhoff on Leoric, Ultimus on Li Ming, Death Knight on Malfurion, Dino on Tracer, and Nick showcasing Diablo.
This is absolutely going to be amazing. Everybody here at the venue completely hyped. We can hear the chants actually even from here. It's absolutely bonkers. Everybody has been in such good spirits here. It's so awesome. What a fantastic crowd.
Yeah, supportive all the way through, even getting cheers for United States, you know, welcoming them, making sure that they feel at home, but of course being a little bit louder for Germany, because you gotta support the home team. Now, we have a groundbreaker right away here at the start, but Hasselhoff will be able to Wraith walk away. Dino is someone that you will have to keep an eye on for this matchup. His Tracer is one of those that is up there in the top tiers, and it's good that they grab Tracer here in game number 1, because Kier is also pretty good at that hero too, so we'll see what Dino can pull off.
There is also a very big thing that of course differentiates what we are seeing here in regards to the tournament, because this is the first time that Dino is playing at one of these events. He was not able to make it to Miami in the 2 tournaments that were played out there last year, and that had an impact on the European teams. So now we have him with Team Germany going up against the United States. Game number 1, it is a full best of 7, and it's going to be absolutely glorious as players are slowly trying to get an advantage here in game number 1. Portal rotations, of course, enabling the blue team to very quickly move cross-map and later on try and execute some ganks on side laners and isolated heroes.
Exactly. That's what the United States uses Medivh for, speeding up the game. They are wanting to rotate with those portals as quickly as they can between their wave experiences, try to get ahead on the minions pushing forward, which of course gives you vision and push potential. And then if anyone's left strangling around, that's when you go for a hard engage. It's been shown with Stitches, it's been shown with Diablo. I'm actually very fascinated to see how it will be used with Garrosh.
Yeah, already a bit of a push here in the middle. Obviously, if you have Li Ming, you want to get her onto structures as quickly as you can. But with the pumpkins pushing through, the gate destroyed, one of the towers already gone. And at the side lane, Hazops and Liam doing their thing with Leoric and Urel.
Garrosh having a rough time there, but he should be healed up by Snook up over time. Another knock up on Dino, but he's able to blink away. One thing you'll want to watch in these compositions, while there are 4 in the bottom lane, Urel and Leoric will be doing their best to double soak. But when the side laner starts to rotate on the minimap, that's usually when a team wants to fight. And the question is whether or not they were scouted on their way in. And usually, Liam and Hazops are good at being sneaky.
Yeah, at this point, we already have them trying to go for Hazu, and they get him here. Hazos might be in trouble. Leoric gets attacked, but here comes Nick with Diablo moving in deep, and Garrosh with the save. Nicely played. Both teams for a second exchanging blows, but nobody falling just yet.
That's right. Dino using that Pulse Bomb will be Force of Willed here from Medivh. A nice little trade from them, but Tracer already building up to our next Pulse Bomb. You can see in the top right corner at 60% of that heroic. That's why you'll see Dino constantly auto-attacking, zipping in, zipping out. He wants to build it up and have it ready for the next fight.
Yep, the Nexus Mosquito. Bzz, bzz. Annoying as hell.
That's right.
That's Tracer right there.
That's what she does in this game. Bottom right, tower's already taking a shot, but there are 3 ultras for the grabbing. Legacy starts the channel. Madara doing a great job of zoning out the back line. Liam is by himself as Dino comes to top left, begins the channel. All he wants to do is delay, and see if his teammates want to rotate over it, and if they see a fight they can move into, they'll try and fight for the altar.
Yeah, Dino not taking any unnecessary risks just yet, or is he? Is able to zip out, but here comes Liam, and Dino might have underestimated the situation a little bit. Liam immediately on the follow-up. Death Knight now rotating in from the side. Liam with another jump, but there's the heal, and now Urel herself might be in a bit of trouble.
Root goes down to make sure that Liam doesn't go in the back left. He gets his Avenging Wrath, does finally jump up. Meanwhile, that ultra was channeled on the bottom side. Germany goes down to 32 points, and Liam buys some time with a 2v1 and sneaks away, just showcasing how he knows his limits on that character.
Another nice split from the United States to the bot lane to drop another tower. Quickly done here. They have taken the lead on core points too, taking 2 of the altars and dropping Germany down to 32 as both teams now have a level 7 and their talents. But look at Liam up at the top. Urel, another jump and gets away, but the continuous pressure is definitely there.
This is one thing that Hazops did against Urel. He would consistently have teammates coming in. Oh, Dino going in, chasing Liam, and Liam gets poked off, and Dino helps get first blood for Germany.
Dino going deep, taking down Urel, the first blood for the team, and back to the mid lane. Liam so close to escaping, but couldn't quite make it work. And in the meantime, his teammates pushing again through mid and bot lane to get the experience and stay on par with Germany.
Germany stabilizing, trying to figure out where exactly everyone is on the map, soaking up all their experience. What has been happening from Hazops when he plays Leoric is they try to get pressure and have someone kind of filter over and put pressure on the top laner. And then the moment they have a chance, they'll grab those sappers. They want to wear and tear that top lane to force the United States to eventually come back. And then when they do that, they flip the map and run to the bottom side.
Yeah, talking about the bottom of the map, pumpkins still have to be dealt with, and this is what they're currently both going for. The continuous attempt to try and get some hit points off those bell towers.
Yep.
Once you convert them over and control the bot lane, you are in a great spot. You really force your opponent to play your game, and that's what the teams are both looking for, to really dictate the pace of this.
Kier shows up, has his portals up and ready to go. Main focus here is the sappers. Dino gets punched in the face there. Force of Will comes in though.
Talking about Cure, he is at 8 stacks on his baseline, so it's really a slow progress for him. It's not that he doesn't have a lot of opportunities to come in here and get the stacks together, so this is very good for Germany as they are hoping to take him on later and reset the progress completely. But already, look at Cure. This is exactly what we're talking about. Gets safe, big in trouble, gets another wall stun out, but he falls. Diablo is dead. Can Germany get a counter kill? It doesn't look like it. Instead, Hazops is now getting targeted and immediately followed as we have the United States dropping portals on top of him.
United States literally had 10 by 2 minions. That was it. And that was a small enough advantage for them to move forward and get a kill. Here's a mind control as well. Locking down a target. It's going to be on Dino into a root. Force of Will at the last second to save Garrosh. Unaverted, trying to retreat. Stukov gets off a heal. He gets out with the portal. The United States grab the altar as well. So the score is 36-28, and they finally back away.
Really sick plays here. The mind control coming out immediately. Tracer in trouble. They reset, and then it's the attack against Garrosh. And he was so close. Just as the shield is gone, Calamity, bam, Ultralisk looking for the kill. Can't find it. They drop back off, and then the portals of Medivh save the day. But the adjustments here on level 10, so important. Not only for Sylvanas, of course, but also on the side of Medivh with the polybomb.
And so far, it's been Razor with them, but you can see what Germany's plan is here. You get one kill, and you can have Li Ming start to reset, start diving forward, but it's come down to a small amount of HP. What Garrosh have there? 200 HP? That's one full combo from Li Ming. So these Force of Wills, there is a lot of stretch for Kier here to make sure that he's landing those and ensuring that the resets do not happen.
Yeah, and for Germany, reacting this quickly to the choices that were made on level 10 was also important. This could have definitely been a starting kill by the United States, just surprising Germany with not only mind control, but also the polybomb. So very good choices, adapting to what Germany has here, but also quick reactions out of the red team, as everybody is now vying for a bit of an advantage. Blue team still slightly ahead in experience, but now we have that single altar spawning at the bottom of the map, which could force a team fight between the two.
Well, United States putting pressure here in the middle. You don't typically see this too much on Towers of Doom, but they are trying to find targets that are rotating over to grab the minion wave, and that way they're isolated by themselves, and then you drop the mind control. He is just flinging that thing out, as mind control is a pretty low cooldown in Heroes of the Storm. I believe it's about 40 seconds per a cast.
Right now, Alta is coming up. 4 seconds, both of them moving over. Liam still on his way. Urel stuck in the middle of the map. Dino starting the channel. Cure might be the one to interrupt. Picking up another stack for his baseline, sitting at 15. Here comes the flip, the stun, immediate recall, and all of a sudden, Unaverted getting body blocked. Nice moves, the root on the ground. Hazob's even with the Entomb, but there's no appropriate follow-up as Urel joins the fight.
Jumps in, drops her bubble. At the same time, Hazob's getting low on HP. He's going to be in that Wraithwalk form afterwards, but he can't come back and cheat death. But Ultralisk on the bottom side trying to siege up. Gets a hit there on Cure. Cure low on HP. That's a 2, and here's a reset as Ultralisk goes in and finds 2.
Nick with a monster apocalypse. The reset on the stacks for Medivh and a second kill. Sylvanas fell. What a huge play by Diablo here. They're trying for Unaverted once again. Might even pick up another kill here. Dino wants it. Can't get it. 100 hit points left for Garrosh. But what an explosive fight for Germany.
32-28 is the score on Towers of Doom. And look at the experience. It's so freaking close. 13.25 to 13.5. But Germany trying to bust that open here as they grab the gates to the bottom left and can start moving towards their Sappers.
Great fight at the bot lane. Now we're going to have 2 altars come up next. Level 13 talents are ready for the both, but it is Nick again. The damage output that he brings, the aggression. We talked about him role swapping. Hazu in the interview earlier also mentioned it. He said like, hey, this is one of the most important roles in Heroes of the Storm. It's one of the most difficult to play.
Yeah.
But once that Nick adapted a little bit, it's just crazy how strong he is, how good his sense for the right opportunity is, and he is just delivering time and time again for them.
At the same time, Unaverted is doing some great repositioning here, but you are completely correct, man. When it comes to these teams being great, they are succeeding because they have great tank play to play off of. Now, we have a bit of a small lull here, but it's about to change in a couple of seconds here. Sappers are about to be grabbed, and we have 2 altars for the taking as they are activating in 2 seconds.
It's such a close one already. Still the lead for the United States on the core points. In experience, Germany has taken over a little bit. The aggression, and he saves him from the combo. The coordination, not perfect. Mind control against Diablo. To no avail though, and here comes another apocalypse. The shield is out as Medivh is trying to save the frontliner.
And Liam shows up on the right side, knocks in Hasselubs. Nick is by himself in the bottom left, but Unaverted's getting low on HP. That's okay though, Legacy breaks in the heels. Another Force of Will coming out, stop Ultralisk's combo.
Another big fight happening, and once again it's of course Garrosh that finds himself in trouble. The same is true for Nick too. Nick is low and Nick is down.
Nick is down. Liam tries to buy some time though for his team as he steps up to the top right side, knocking away the opposing team of Germany, and Sylvanas will go for the channel, and United States shells away once again. 32-24, and there is one more altar for the taking.
Nicely done here. 4 shots already fired, and Liam is now going for it. Hazu with interrupt. Nice. They are on level 15 as well. Immediately the attack against Leoric, but the fight is on as the backline gets attacked. Stukov in particular is getting a bit of a beating as the Entomb drops another wall stun, and then is Garrosh gone.
And they're going back and forth. Liam getting low on HP. We'll get a Force of Will and have to knockback, but Ultras wants to kill it. They're going for the chase. Nick coming in and says, hey, you took me out, now I take you. That is 2 taken down, and Germany fights back and takes their own altar. The score here is going to be going from 24 to 28. United States slightly leading, but both teams coming in with haymakers.
What a fight. 1 level ahead for Germany. They pick up level 16, but it continues back and forth in game number 1. We have the US team just murdering so many of these engagers, but then Germany clawing their way back, looking for a follow-up once more. Madara gets attacked and dies. gone. Kill number 6 for Germany, exploiting that level 16 advantage.
And I think some of you at home are starting to understand why Dino's Tracer is usually banned out or taken away from him. This guy is in your face, dodging out on combos, moving around those skill shots, continuing to pelter away. And with the help of Malfurion right behind him, consistently healing, he has no fear. The recalls are on point as well. 17 to 15, and Germany's starting to take a lead with experience, but remember, it's Towers of Doom. It's all about those shots at the top.
Yeah, absolutely. Towers of Doom is just such an incredible comeback map, so you can never count an opponent out. And in particular, if that is true of one team, it's true of the US.
That's
These
right.
guys have always made it super difficult. Even down 0-2 in the series, they don't give up. They never give up, they never surrender. They are always going for it. And in this case, they're trying to reclaim, of course, their bell tower control, prevent Germany from locking in another one here in the middle, as they have finally picked up their own level 16 talent and can now fight on eye level with the red team.
Germany has prepped attention in the bottom lane. These sappers are here to start pushing forward, but the main appeal of them is to force the United States to come all the way down on the bottom side. Mind control goes out, but does a whiff. Meanwhile, Urel and Hasselhoff are starting to set up for the altars at the top because they spawn in 7 seconds.
Altars coming up once again. Already a little bit of scrimmage here with Hazu and Liam at the top. The two of them exchanging blows. The quest of Medivh has been reset earlier. He's back to 13 stacks on his baseline. So this is still making it quite easy for Germany to try and target him to reset it again. But here's the channel on the altar first as Dino claims the pumpkins, hitting them on multiple fronts.
That was a very sneaky play by Dino, not scattered out. Liam comes in, jumps right on top of Diablo. United States wants to fight fast because they want to deal with the sappers on the bottom side, whereas Germany wants to be nice and slow. Pulse Bump comes in, there's a Force of Will. Nick on the back right, trying to control unaverted, but the Polybomb is spreading.
Yeah, Polybomb is really spreading. Finally, it's over, but here comes the kill, and there's again the reset. They're taking him down once more. Medivh gone, a second kill to follow it up with Garrosh eliminated. Germany taking more and more control of game number 1. 8 kills to 3 as they build up this momentum.
And to add insult to injury, Medivh, he lost all of his stacks. He went down to 0 with that kill. Therefore, his Master Touch is not going to be available for some time, and he has to start all over again from the start.
Q at this point saving the good plays for the next game as we have level 17 to 18.
21 to 18 in the score right now for Germany, quite in the lead. They've already set up a kill here in the middle lane on that fort. Hasn't taken the bell tower fully yet, but they don't even need to. Even keeping it low is great enough pressure, and they can eventually move in when the opposing team retreats away. Ultras continues to shell, and at this point, things are looking dire. United States is going to have to respawn and come out fighting.
Yeah, Dino jumping up to the top lane now, going for another camp. He's been super busy all game long here, taking these camps while the team was fighting and then joining them within a second. Half level to 20, so close to Storm Talons. They have such a huge advantage. 6 bell towers to 2, even trying to defend now down at the bottom of the map. And with the pumpkins, House at the top is threatening to take the entire map. He's threatening Urel here. Germany is in such a commanding position right now.
Right, they're keeping up with it too. And Tracer on the top right is looking to come in here and start getting some damage. And unaverted low on HP, getting healed at the last second. There's a Force of Will into a knockback as those 20s do come on in. It gets stuffed as they pick up for that level 20 for Germany. And United States has to make up 2 levels right now. Finally, they're going to be able to start working on that fort on the bottom side. Actually, they don't even get it as they decide to go ahead and run to the middle instead and use that black arrow as a means to do so.
Another camp is taken on the bottom right. The altar spawning in 20. Storm Talons are in. Tal Russias has been taken. And of course, buried alive for Leoric. Such an important upgrade to the Entomb. And with Hellgate, even more mobility for a Diablo player that always wants to be in your face. And Nick is going to be there when you want him there the least. Another attack at the top. Some of these bell towers are being retaken. It's a simple exchange, top side against the bottom of the map, and the channels are slowly happening as Germany is trying to pull further ahead.
Yeah, the United States has realized, okay, we need to stabilize, give away what we can here. We'll go ahead and use Sylvanas. We'll push out the bottom right instead. Liam also realizing, with level 20 being up and that buried alive there, I can't jump out of that tomb. I can't get hit with the thing. So they're going to have to back away from it. Finally, on the bottom side, United States gets closer and closer to level 20 as 19.5 connects here, and another 4 shots are being added to the score here for Germany.
I mean, the US has clearly a goal. They're saying, okay, we can't fight them. They have level 20 talents. We just need to make sure that they're not taking the entire map, so we are claiming bell towers at the bottom. Give them the boss. Yes, we're down to 4 points, but this is Towers of Doom. Once we have level 20, once we can fight them, then we can make our plays. And it is honestly a very smart choice to make. You all of a sudden have the Dark Lady's Call, which is an incredible upgrade, and the cooldown reduction is just simply ridiculous. It's a 4 versus 4 situation on bell towers now. So this is a moment where one good team fight can get the United States back into the driver's seat, and that's what they're hoping for. And I really like that they are so cool, calm, and collected to make sure that they're not overextending, taking a bad fight, but that they're willing to drop down to 4 points before they are re-engaging.
And I like that you brought the Dark Lady's Call. That's a 15-second cooldown. Mind Control is being thrown out like candy. If you thought that he was throwing it out already, watch here in a second. He's going to be trying to find a target and lock him down. All right, 1, 2, 3 bell towers and a 4th being grabbed. The United States with that composure, and although they lost on the scoreboard, they finally got map control back, which is so pivotal here on this map. Now, there is one thing to know. There is going to be 2 altars for the grabbing in about 30 seconds. And when those do spawn, Germany, if they grab one here, if they grab that bottom right bell tower, they will win the game. So
Yes.
United States is going to have to be hyper-aggressive, but also in full control of this fight.
If they can zone anybody out, that would be big, of course. But let's see what the United States can pull off here. Germany, they are ready to end it right here, but the blue team, they have, of course, a different idea of how this is going to go. They take position early and a very aggressive one at that. They have to. There is no other choice. But Hazobs and his boys, they're looking for the Entomb. They're looking for a drain. Nick is looking for the angle so he can get the stun. And they're starting to channel, forcing the blue team to react to them.
Entomb is still up and available, waiting for a big group up. Madara on the top right side. Hassob's coming in from the side. Mind Control comes out, so he can't go for the Entomb, making sure the positioning is good for them. Unaverted at the same time, trying to control that front line. That altar on the top left was grabbed, so United States do full attention here. There's a poly bomb. Death Knight is low.
Death Knight is low, but he's still alive. He's still surviving throughout all of this, and Ultralisk is helping him out. And Liam wants to make another play, but he just can't get that kill. He can. He takes him down. It's a 1v2, and he wins it. Goes for it straight away. Ultralisk wants the kill, doesn't get it.
Are they doing this?
Moved out the Apocalypse. There it is. He gets one hit in. Liam is dead. The first kill for Germany in the team fight. Diablo goes down as well. So does Lehoric. The US with 3 kills in total.
That's right. They still have to grab the altar, but Germany is still in this game, and Ultralisk can buy time here with Li Ming poking from the side. Dino as well on that Tracer can continue to be on that top right. Unaverted will hope to control him and try to maybe lock him down into a combo, but Dino playing darn near perfectly. Nick is back here on Diablo, low on HP, but still here to help out when needed. 26 seconds until Malfurion is back. Leoric working on cheating death as well.
At this point, it's of course still a stale play by Germany, trying to buy themselves a little bit more time. Not going to take too long for Leoric to come back. Nice dodge also by Dino, and the Dark Lady's Call. That one was important. And still, NA cannot get this channel. They just can't. And Leo is back. Malfurion is about to pop back up. So this could be tricky for them here. They still have to fight this one out.
Averted, trying to hold down the backside. There's that Entomb, throws out his teammate, saves him from victory. Legacy goes to the back left, provides those heals. There's the polybomb spreading out, and the Mind Control as well coming out. Nick also in a position on the bottom left as he tries to get on top of Cure, but uninverted in that front line is doing work.
And that's Medivh in trouble, and he's dead. Cure is down. Urel on her way back to business, but things are looking grim for North America, for the USA as Dukov falls. Can Liam turn the tide? He might be able to. He comes in and they take down Nick again.
Mind Control is up too. If one hit can come in from Adora, they could really
Ridiculous.
Ultralisk goes for a reset. He starts to pop up. It's just Liam in a 1v3. He's trying to jump around, trying to hold, but there it is. Germany able to get a 5-man
team win.
Germany goes up 1-0 in this best of 7 series, and we got a match on our hands.
1-0 for Germany as the core falls. Towers of Doom again their stronghold, and they take the lead in the best of 7. But what a final fight. Holy shit.
I love the composure we saw from the United States. They were in a dire position.
Yeah.
But they were like, all right, you know what? Sacrifice what we have to. We have to get map control back. And they succeeded in that using Sylvanas. And then we had the incredible fight in the top right. They were this close to getting that altar. Germany held on. They played the pokes. That is Heroes of the Storm right there.
And so many anticipated plays. When Dino moved into that bush and the Dark Lady Call come in, he knew exactly, okay, this is happening right now. Dodges out on it immediately. If that hits, he's dead. And this is a channel for the United States. But as is Germany, they clutch it out towards the end. Liam coming back made it dangerous for just a second. Nick immediately died. But that's the lead in the best of 7 for the team coming from the winner bracket.
Now, if you haven't joined us all weekend, first off, you missed out on a lot of awesome games. But second off, let me update you. Every single character that is played in these series cannot be played for the rest of the draft. So everything you just saw cannot be repeated once again. We are going into the deep Heroes of the Storm roster and getting more awesome games coming your way, which makes it incredibly exciting.
Yeah, this is going to be super interesting right now, what we're going to see. I mean, 4 maps are guaranteed, and that is always assuming that the United States are not taking a single map, which honestly, I don't see
They gotta
happening
take
after
one.
what we're seeing here.
Especially after
I don't
game
think
one.
they're only going to take one. This is going to be a close one.
I mean,
It should
Germany's
be.
sweating a little bit. So, and again, if you haven't been watching, Germany is currently undefeated. But for a second there, they'd be like, oh, wow, we're hitting some competition right now.
I mean, for sure. And I've been telling everybody that wants to hear it and everybody that didn't that
I want to hear it. Say it.
Okay, I'm really afraid every single time that a team gets ahead against the United States, because it's always where you get a bit overconfident. You're like, we got this. We're 2 levels ahead. We have an extra talent. They have no map control. And you just sit there. They endure. They sit there and do a little bit more. And at some point, they have the same talent as you. Win a fight. And you're like, what just happened? All of a sudden, the game is wide open again. So you can never count them out. These guys scare me. They are so like in Miami the last time was crazy. It's not only because of Legacy sitting there and always threatening to just like kill you, but it's really they are scary. They are scary because they are just so calm and so experienced in how they are dealing with any problem that might happen.
And they're flexible, too. We've had many drafts from the United States team to make sure to earn their Ws, and we're about to begin on Kurt's Hollow for our next map. The last time we saw them on this map, we saw Chromie and Illidan temporal loop into a hunt combination that was destructive, to the point where they had the fastest win in the game. 9 minutes and 13 seconds was as quick as they closed the map out.
I'm still jealous. I wanted to cast that game. I saw that Illidan. I was like, where's my Illidan? I didn't get one. I got an Illidan ban.
You'll get one, probably. You got to get some fun action going in there. So that will be our next battleground. We're getting all of our players ready to go. In fact, they joined the lobby quickly. These guys are ready to play.
Yeah, they're definitely ready to roll here. And everybody is super eager. And why wouldn't they be? Germany has been very dominant, as Tim just mentioned. They haven't lost the map yet. But at the same time, you are now looking at how close the first game in this series was. And you're immediately thinking, all right, if that's game number 1, just wait until a couple of the preference picks are whittled out and see what they can pull off here. And if NA has shown one thing, then it is that they're willing to experiment. You pointed out Illidan very early already. So what are we going to see in game number 2? Cursed Hollow, totally different map now. Once again, you can still play some of the globals here. Keep in mind, Brightwing, the Haka already banned out. You got the Birdie, you got Falstad. You can play, of course, also with Abatha and with the Vikings. But if you have seen one thing, it's that North America, they do their homework and they ban these heroes out against teams that are strong with them.
Yeah, one character they've been showing to help out with that global is Deathwing, actually. Deathwing's gotten played a lot this weekend, as he's one of those characters that if you set up the correct situation, you come flying in and you are disruptive to the opposing team. We are ready for our draft here for game number 2 in this best of 7 series. Let's hop in. Let's get ready. I cannot wait to see what we are getting to watch here.
Yeah, 10 heroes banned from the entire tournament. Thanks again for everybody that contributed to the crowdfunding and helped us find its tournament like this and set new ones up. So thank you very, very much. And of course, the 10 heroes that have been played in game number 1 are also unavailable at this point. So the teams, they have to start thinking a little bit, how do we approach this? Also, what do we save for maybe the next map? What does our opponent want and how do we deal with it? It is Cursed Hollow. Do you play around the tributes? Is it another Abatha ban for the United States? Are they going to get rid of the Vikings? We're going to find out.
I think Vikings are definitely a shoo-in for the United States. They really have to consider that with Hostiles being strong on the Vikings. But one character I'm going to be looking at when we get to the draft is Tyrael. Tyrael is great on this battleground. Boss control is the name of the game. And both of our players, our tank players, have been phenomenal on Tyrael, earning Ws when they land those identifications. Nick, probably a little bit more flashy, if you will. I love the style that he brings.
Yeah.
But unaverted, just as great on the character.
Exactly. Nick would always go for Judgment if he has a chance to do that.
That's
and he's
right.
been showing that multiple times in the tournament, just busting it out whenever it's available. And he's been great with it.
Viking ban.
Abatha and also the Vikings are being banned. The United States not taking any risks here. They're just no fun.
Maybe later on.
The Germans, they're known to be funny, they're known to be exciting, they're known to be emotional, so they want to
Joyous
play
is
these
the word
great
I would
heroes.
use.
Sorry?
Yeah, joyous.
Exactly, very joyous people. That's what we're known for.
It's like you didn't even know what that word was. You're like, what? Uther ban taken out for Germany. As Uther has been a mainstay this weekend, he can kind of function as a pseudo-tank. And there's Tyrael, actually, a first pick for the United States.
Yeah, Tyrael picked very, very quickly here, and that is already making things interesting from my perspective, because while I really love him and think on Cursed Hollow is also fantastic, I'm curious what they are going to pair together with him, what they combo him off with. Whereas the Germans, they go for Verdian and Karazim. So we're going to get a 7-sided strike after a taunt, potentially.
I think maybe we'll get a Hanzo here. Hanzo's helpful with the boss control as well. Get
Yeah.
the engages that you're looking for. Helpful with Tyrael.
A couple of NA arrows.
Yeah, lots of NA arrows, which Kira has had the best arrow of the weekend. We can't take that away from him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, he landed a 5-man arrow.
Now that I think about it, let's not give them Hanzo. Let's give it over to
I thought you
Germany.
wanted to go to Game 4, Game 5, Game 6. We gotta give him a couple of characters.
Okay, I need to get my boys at least like a 2-map buffer
with the
before
confidence.
we're doing with that, okay?
Okay, all right, fair enough. Whitemane, who is actually interesting, as you get to Game 4, Game number 5, she starts getting banned out a lot.
It was actually funny. I mean, all between the games, I've always been talking to the NA players a lot, and particularly to Legacy. It's always funny. So he's like, what do you want for this one? I was like, dude, as long as you give me 5 games against Sweden, I'm fine. And then afterwards, he came over and he said, so are you happy now? And I was like, yeah, I'm very happy. I got my 5 games. It's great. Do you also like take any kind of vision recommendations for the grand final? It's like, dude, at some point, we really got to talk here because we cannot give you that. In the grand final, we got to go for gold. And I was just like, yeah, but I probably have to cheer for Germany a little bit. And he said, yeah, okay, very understandable. We're going to let it slide this time.
What a selfless person. For those who don't know,
Absolutely.
Legacy is a support for the North American team. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Also an absolute monster.
Yeah.
Not quite as tall as Sven, but about twice as wide, I'd say. So
I think Bahamut was saying, people were like, is he a body bouncer? And they're like, no, he's actually an accountant. He's a great fella. All right.
What does he count, buddies?
Maev is now banned out here for the United States, and we will be getting our 3rd and 4th pick. Usually you have some kind of blow-up falling up into this. It's going to be a Sergeant Hammer and Chen, who has been a true hero this weekend. Chen has been on display massively for a lot of our teams.
I absolutely love Chen to just interrupt any kind of play the opponent wants to execute. You come in with a barrel, you can either isolate a hero, you can push a key hero away and get them just out of the fight, being it a healer or a damage dealer, but you can also just introduce chaos to the opponent's setup and make sure that any combo they attempt to use is not going to work for them. Now, tier ETC is interesting to me because it's now the second time that we see ETC as a possible side laner for the United States, so very likely another stage dive combo for them, which allows them to traverse the map quickly to, for example, attack the opponent trying to take a boss. Also good when you're fighting around tributes. And interestingly enough, this is the same map where they played ETC with stage dive the last time against Sweden.
And the good thing about ETC too is he just kind of helps bolster out that Tyrael weakness of not really bringing a lot of CC and having a low HP pool. So now you have 2 decent, mediocre, meaty bodies that can be in the fight, and they have a lot of mobility too. So I love that pick up here. We did have Hanzo coming in for the 5th pick for the German team. So now they have a nice control siege type of style with Sergeant Hammer, and if they have any hard engages coming their way, they have the arrow to respawn. Is there a world where we can see the Dragon Strike at all?
I wouldn't say not here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen a couple during the qualifiers.
It's strong at 20, but
it's usually something that if it's getting played, it's Infernal Shrines where you can get a lot of use out of it. But especially, of course, with 20 cooldown reduction. But when we're talking about Cursed Hollow, I would say it's still on the stand. There's so many choke points that you can use to really get a good one. We've seen it from Cure earlier, so yeah.
All right, gotta agree with you on that. So in terms of draft, both teams are looking pretty strong. I am a little bit worried that ETC might be a bit rough to pull off. A lot of folks are getting very strong. Okay, he's Power Slide. Just kill him, right? You wait out the armor that he gets off of his passive, and then you just delete him, and ETC gets burned down pretty darn quickly. Let's go ahead and hop into it here. Game number 2, Cursed Hollow on the far left in the blue. Liam on ETC, Cure on Junkrat, Unaverted on Tyrael, Medora on Cassia, and Legacy playing Whitemane. It is Team United States.
And over to the right side of the map, playing in Berlin, Germany. It is the Germans with Nick on Varian, Hazops on Chen, Dainu on Hanzo. We have Death Knight on Karazim and Ultralisk. It's hammer time. He's playing the Sergeant.
Level 1 pickup for our Sergeant Hammer has been pretty traditional for a lot of our teams. Advanced Artillery will be that pickup. And we'll see where Hammer is going to station. Typically it's in a boss lane, but also you can use it to make sure that the boss lane doesn't lose the gates in case your opponents do go for it. And that seems to be the case here for Germany as Ultralisk runs straight to the bottom lane and sieges up.
Legacy with stacks on level 1, and the Panzergeneral at the bottom of the map has to immediately retreat and not fall victim to that 3-man. Doesn't want to take any damage here. But of course it also means that Germany now has a numbers advantage themselves in the middle of the map.
Poke is going to be pretty instrumental here. If you look at the composition for Germany, it's Karazim. And Karazim's not known for being the best healer. He's more of someone that jumps in, can secure kills, but also do 7-sided strike to really burst people down. There is Divine Palm as an option, but it's pretty rare in this tournament.
Yeah, so Ultra this time, already with Sergeant Hammer here. Rumor has it that initially they wanted Hazu to play it, but as Ultralisk obviously just picked up his driver's license, they allowed it this time. It's, by the way, so nice to be on German highways again, where you have just unlimited, like, no speed limits in huge light. It's awesome.
And jaywalking doesn't exist here, which is still breaking my brain.
We have different roads than you guys. If I jaywalk in the US, I die within 3 seconds.
Yeah.
If I jaywalk here, I just cross the street faster.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Just more interesting to me. Kira and Legacy are
that's the real freedom!
It does feel really nice, actually. Yeah, I don't get a ticket or anything. It feels really, really nice. United States have always been quick on their night camp on this map. As soon as it spawns, they jump right onto it right away. Germany, realizing this, is actually waiting a hair to make sure to go get theirs afterwards, and they'll be able to have the defensive positioning for it.
Yeah, down to the bottom of the map, Ultralisk, of course, still has to be careful until he has that level 7 talent that really sets Sergeant Hammer up to be such a big nuisance. His level 4 choice is also going to be interesting, of course, and I would expect that we get siege tactics here, that he's not going to follow the build that Nick has popularized with the regenerative biosteel.
Look at Hanzo here in the middle, because ETC's possibly coming in. Okay, Liam just here to try and bolster out and keep that wizard alive, but this night camp will help out. And Varian potentially coming in for a flank here on the top left side. Yeah, they might be going for ETC. Liam sniffing it out though.
Yeah.
Drops on the power slide. Dodge.
the body block.
Taunt. Karazim trying to get
Slow,
the body block.
taunt.
There's the taunt. Dino with the auto attacks. Liam.
No way! 6 hit points! You gotta be kidding me! Liam survives Death Knight, nearly died there for the team and for the possible kill. But wow!
And you know Liam is just sitting there and he's like calculated.
Yeah, exactly.
It's whatever. That man is so composed. I'm like, hey, can I get a roar from you? And he's like, he's here to game, man. Towers now getting focused down with Germany, though, coming in with the push as they kill the first one here, and that will help them with the experience. But the first tribute spawning to the south near Sergeant Hammer in 10 seconds.
Off we go at this point, down to the bottom of the map. Still Hammer against Cassia. There's not really too much happening here, but Cassia gets, of course, the value up to the point where Ultralisk has his mobility, so the wall has fallen. We've seen 3 heroes initially start to attack it. A couple of structures destroyed. But at least for Germany, there's currently a free tribute in the air, so they get that. Easy one, and they didn't really contest it. Playing it slow and safe. Top side, still the 1v1 between Chen and ETC. So a little bit of a slower start into the game outside of the attempted kill in the mid lane against Liam.
Tyrael also had it back. Tyrael's one of these characters that if you're trying to drop her down a few abilities, he actually runs out of mana really quickly. And so that was a situation where Germany was able to capitalize. Cure getting caught here on the... Oh, the snipe arrow coming in from Dino.
Yeah, Dino just Hanzo Junkrat took him down quickly. That's the level 7 for Germany. And it's also first blood in the game, in game number 2.
Dragon hungers, and it will continue to look for those picks. 7.5 to 7.25 for our team. Second tribute up the top right corner. This is actually in a great position for Germany, especially with Hanzo sharking on the side. I expect the United States not to go too hard on trying to take this away. However, if you look at the minimap, Whitemane and Cassia are starting to rotate on over.
Yeah, top side. You always have to be careful if there's a variant on the other side. Those taunts, they are no joke, especially if you can follow that up with Dino's damage. And after level 10, Death Knight with a 7-sided strike. Channel's already happening. Unaverted is going to get taunted right there. That allows Death Knight to get the tribute. Now we're talking 2 tributes to 0, and therefore a big lead on the objective for Germany. That forces the US to fight for the next one, or they will be cursed.
Legacy was just a half a second late there from him to interception, which would have cleansed Tyrael and allowed for him to go for the interrupt. But you are correct. 2 out of 3 tributes for Germany to set up for that curse. And if they can grab the next one at 9.5, they'll blow this game wide open, hitting heroics and getting those forts.
Also important to note that once again with ETC sitting at the side lane, he picks Echo Paddle on level 7, so that allows for some additional wave clear and makes him much more effective as a side laner.
Yeah.
Definitely going to be another stage stage dive pick for Liam. Same as in the series against Sweden on this map.
Unaverted, taking some poke there on the middle side. And right now, we're just kind of waiting for the level 10 to come in. Liam will get scouted out thanks to a couple of mines. Ultralisk keeping up that Sergeant Hammer sieging. She can be so frustrating to push into, man, if she's naded up and well-equipped for a fight. Meanwhile, Hasulov, we haven't really talked about him. He's been holding his own here with Chen in the top right corner, just drinking his brew and living his best life.
Getting closer and closer to level 10, and they have a small window here just as that tribute is about to spawn. That might become pretty interesting. It's a very tiny window, but there is a chance that they can use that if they rotate quickly towards the tribute and can maybe catch somebody here. There's already the Keg. They're trying for it. They're trying to force the fight as the rotation comes, and there's the flank level 10 abilities also for the United States, but Whiteman goes down as they immediately focusing on a 7-sided strike, doing work for them, and the quick kill against the support might just allow them to grab this tribute and curse the United States.
Well, something to note, though, is they did put some damage on top of their opponents here as Kira was able to bring in the nades. But ETC's in the bottom lane handling Sergeant Hammer, who wants to work on that fort. But the stage dive is here. If the United States feels like this curse could be too devastating, they can bring ETC in at any point. BFG, by the way, being shot from across the map. Let's see if it hits anyone. Oh. No, it was so close, but they don't even need it as Kira falls victim to Germany. They're just so swift at finding their opponents.
3 kills to 0, and the United States eat that curse. The bot lane is already in trouble as Ultralis has softened up the fort, and together with the Siege Giant, he takes it easy peasy. We have Chen up top side, Fed Illidan doing a lot of work at the proxy waves. Another kill in the middle. The Germans, they're ruthless, going through the United States like hot butter through cheese as they're taking one fort down after another. Chen diving in deep towards the keep. They're just rolling over them here.
I'm getting worried. If you're a United States fan, you should be worried as well. Another Keg coming in, speaking about rolling them over. Matter getting locked down here into the corner. Hostelwub's finally being done with that Keg, has to jump away. There is a chain ball. Arrow comes out at the same time to lock them in. ETC in a position here to go for a power slide, but with Nick dropping down the taunt, Germany is able to walk away.
All 3 forts falling. 1.5 level lead now, still waiting for the first kill for the US. They have a bit of a rough one going. Of course, now the teams are starting to focus on the boss. Germany has moved towards the top lane and is taking it quickly. And down at the bottom of the map, we have the blue team doing the exact same thing, not risking anything here. ETC, thankfully for them, with stage dive, has the global abilities and can now defend the top and could at any point still help them out in a team fight if needed.
That's right, that global being a real strength for them. Hostelwubs also being aware that they're probably going to be on the boss and bottom left is actually taking away their Giants, which will bolster out this boss fight. But it's great to take it away from your opponents because the Giants actually have pretty solid DPS at killing it if it were to be grabbed here by the United States. So heads up play by him. And with Sergeant Hammer joining up, all 5 are looking to push in the top lane with a level 13 advantage.
Yeah. They're not taking any prisoners here. Whenever they have a chance, they're straight away going for it. They have a 1-level lead, they have a level 13 talent, there's Siege Giants, there's the boss, they have Sergeant Hammer. They're just sieging up on this. They don't care about that fort at the bottom of the map. If they can get a keep here, that would be fantastic. And I don't really know how the US can stop this. The arrow doesn't connect, kind of useless, but there's a stage dive into the backline.
Varian also getting thrown in the back line. Keg comes out. Matara trying to hold his own, able to sidestep for the last second. Power slide from Liam just to hold out against Nick. The boss now, the focus here for the United States. They would love to say this keep they can, but with Ultras just shelling away from afar, it's looking like that's not going to be a possibility.
And we haven't really seen a lot of damage dished out, but the second that ETC jumped in with stage dive, 7-sided strike was used immediately on the point. If he stays, he dies. He needed to move out there. Germany really capitalizing on those plays, and Death Knight paying attention to what's going on, reacting immediately. Clearly the plan here for the German team. They lost their bottom fort, they traded for the keep at the top side. Fantastic trade for them, just as the blue team picks up level 13.
I do like how United States did prep for a play here, though, if they did find a kill or two, as they had the Night Camp pushing in the middle, and of course the boss in the bottom right. If they had a couple of kills, they could have come over here and worked on this fort, but now they can go on the aggressive side. Thanks to their prep here with the Merc Camps, they've hit level 13, and they are taking away the Knights from Germany. Take away all these Mercs, don't allow them to push back into your base once again, and you continue to play around that global of ETC.
Yeah, nice steal on the camp. Down to the bottom of the map with 24 seconds on the countdown. We have Chen in a position where he might even get a free channel on the next tribute. But of course, the United States are trying to get some structural pressure relief as they're going for the top lane. Taking this fort down would mean a lot. Currently, there's a catapult spawning on every single minion wave for Germany. And 10 minutes in, this might not be the biggest problem, but even with ETC and his global sitting at the side lane, once that we're looking at 15-20 minutes, those catapults are going to chunk down. Always assume we're going to get that far, because up to this point, the US hasn't even gotten a single kill.
Yeah. And that is a long wave too, so if those catapults start to group up and you build a mini wave, suddenly they'll have 3 on top of that core, and that is something that we will always have to keep an eye on. Now, a bit of a small moment here, where both of our teams can take a second to breathe up. This is one thing that can be very annoying as a Sergeant Hammer player, is you are kind of slow to move around the map. And once you kill the first outer layer of defense, you have to commit pretty deeply to moving for the keep. The United States may be looking to try to get that 16 talents here so they can punish that type of play if it ever does happen.
And with the level 16 talents we now have, of course, I mean, it's already getting nasty here. Level 16 is such an incredible power spike for them, of course. Now, first and foremost, we have the Cleansing Touch now, and we also got Giant Killer. That alone are two massive power spikes for those heroes, and it's going to make it very difficult for the United States to fight back. It's a 2-level gap that they have to bridge. First tribute has already been taken. I talked about Chen earlier. Now we have another one spawning, and just in the middle of the map, Germany is just sieging up. They're just sitting there, allowing Ultralist to take that wall down. And as soon as we have the blue team poking their heads out, they're being attacked here. It's insanely difficult for them to control this situation.
Keg does come in. Kier was able to sidestep it, though. ETC is on cleanup duty, though, in the bottom lane. The United States do not want to fight here. They just want to deter Germany from fighting. As, again, they need that full level that you keep alluding to, but a second tribute. The cards are stacking up against Germany. I feel like Germany's going to grab the second tribute, and then the United States is going to have to try and make a play. Ooh, however, a Hondo Air comes out, 7-sided strike, and just barely uninverted gets out. Liam comes in with a stage dive. Same time, Death Knight is able to dash up.
Liam looked a little bit abandoned there for just a second when Tyrael jumped back. I was like, boys, I thought we were going. So, yeah, he was probably happy that he could just walk away from this. Everybody was a bit confused there towards the end. Tyrael jumping out, nobody following up with damage on ETC. But half a level is still missing until the boys from the States are picking up their next talent. And they're trying to make the best out of a bad situation, always pushing them back, always poking a little bit. But Germany is taking one structure down after another and softening up these walls that were supposed to protect those keeps.
I gotta ask you a question before we go to this next tribute. Do you think if having Valkyrie here would be a little bit more helpful against Sergeant Hammer? Because Ball Lightning is a choice here, but it hasn't been able to do much yet.
Yeah, I was honestly thinking about it earlier as well. I mean, you have Siege Tactics on level 4. You can always bait it out a bit earlier. I honestly thought initially that they might go for it. It's a talent that I could definitely see here for them. ETC following up with a power slide. They decided against it. If Cassie gets in a good spot and can get the damage out, it's worth it. But as you said, up to now, she hasn't really been able to do a whole lot with it.
All right, Kier's going to try and nade down Sergeant Hammer from here. It's all about the poke game. Liam gets a knockback, goes straight on top of Chen here. Arrow! And we're going to have right main down. That's right, the healer has been taken care of. Sandification coming in from Tyrael. Stage dive as well to go for a retreat as it goes to the bottom lane. Matara working on Chen, but Chen just drinking his brew, and he's just fine as the healer shows up and unaverted. Will have to do everything in his power here to waste time of Germany because the curse is here and in full play.
They are going for Tyrael now. Unaverted, does not stand a chance. He tried to escape. You can run, but you can't hide. They go for core. They want to. Mid lane. What's going to be done there? The waves have been pushed out a bit by the United States, but they still have to wait for Tyrael and for Whiteman to come back, and Germany is not wasting any times with keeps here. They're not going for the lanes. They want to go for core. They want to go for the 2-0 lead, and Liam is their next target. Barely able to slide out.
Just a quick power slide. Matara now trying to retreat as well. Don't count United States out completely yet. They have had 2 miracle defenses in this tournament, but Germany with a full curse and a Sergeant Hammer sieged up are in a prime position to earn this W. Another taunt comes out, and Matara gets deleted.
Down goes Cassia, another kill for Germany, and so far we still haven't seen a single kill for the Americans. It's 7 kills to 0. 2-0 advantage. Ultralist from the backline, one auto attack after another, dropping them low here. 64% on the core as the US players are doing everything they can to somehow stop the German barrage, the German onslaught, as Dino is going for the core.
And Sergeant Hammer might go down here low on HP. They might get their first kill, but at what cost as the core continues to fall? It's down to 0%, and Germany in this best of 7 series goes up 2-0.
Beast mode by the German team here. 2-0, and North America not able to pick up a single kill on the second map. Map 1, super close. Fantastic fights by North America, but they really struggled to get into a good rhythm on the second map.
This is a map, though, that happens a lot onto a lot of teams, right? If you get that boss or you open things up, that curse can be really devastating if you're not able to grab any tributes. And the strength of Sergeant Hammer and the composure in the early game to get to that level 10 advantage was just on full display here by Germany, and they were able to ride that all the way until a victory. Well played by them. United States right now got to take a deep breath and get ready, but we're going to have to give them a quick break, let them reset their mentals, and come back with game number 3. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Welcome back to the Heroes International. We're in the middle of a best of 7, and right now, Germany is up 2-0 over the United States. We're gearing up for game number 3, Khaldor.
Yep, we definitely are. And while we are getting ready for the third map and for the draft, also keep in mind that there is still an MVP vote going on. So the teams they decided who they think is the MVP of the tournament. Each team, of course, was not allowed to vote for a player on their own roster, but we have whittled it down to 4 choices. And if you use !MVP in the chat, then you're going to get the link directly to the vote and you can contribute. So make sure that you check that out. We're going to give a trophy over later on today. So once again, !MVP in the Twitch chat, and you're going to get a link.
Do you know the 4 players? Not that we would pick any on stream. I don't want to influence anything.
Dino, Hazorps, Madara, and I believe Gia.
Okay.
One of the Swedes. Not 100% certain. I just saw it myself. I haven't really been involved in the MVP pick thingy.
Solid form.
But yeah, it's confirmed was Gia. So the 4 of them, they are currently selected. So again, the choices have been made by teams that they played against. So yeah.
And the answer's up to you. I'm not going to give you an answer. That's all up to you guys. So go and vote and make sure to get that in there. Now, we are gearing up for game number 3. The map has been chosen. It is Infernal Shrines for our battleground. This is a map that we've seen a lot of Malthael, D.Va even, and Sonya.
Yeah, and after what just got played by the US boys, I'm actually interested because for map number 2, some of the picks that they had, they were a little bit early, I feel.
Sure.
I think they were catering towards the map. They played ETC, for example, now for the 2nd time with Stage Dive on Cursed Hollow, so I think that was the reasoning behind it. But I just feel that ETC as a side lane came out a little bit early. Whittles down the tank pool a bit too, so that might play a role here as well. But we are going into game number 3 to figure out what they have up their sleeves for Infernal Shrines. So let's take a closer look here. Once again, guys, this is a best of 7, and we have now map number 3 coming up between the United States and Germany.
This is a very important match for the United States to pull a W on. You never want to be in a situation where you feel like you have to win all the way out and go for a reverse sweep. So let's go ahead and hop into this draft and see if the United States can pull out their best W here. So far, they've been succeeding quite well on Infernal Shrine, although the Swedes were able to catch their number in the last series. United States primed and ready, took a slight break, and we'll see if they're ready to go.
Yeah, and of course, one of the advantages for Germany is that they qualified through the winner's bracket. And I cannot stress this enough. There's always this discussion, should the team out of the winner's bracket get a 1 map up? Personally, I think it's a horrible format. That's why we're never going for it in any tournament that I'm organizing. So we have that from a clean slate. But there is a big advantage that you definitely have when you come from the winner's bracket. You are refreshed. You could do a lot of research. And the team that made it into the loser's bracket, through the loser bracket into the grand final, had to play a lot more games to get there. So they're just a little bit more tired, and that just plays into the cards of Germany here. But again, if you want to avoid that, you have to go through the winner's bracket and not lose there. So definitely an advantage, even though it's not a numbers advantage. But as we're heading into Infernal Shrines right now, we'll see how the United States are going to do here. They're currently 0-2, so they have to step it up a bit. Banning out Kerrigan and also banning Abatha again.
Kerrigan's more of a map ban, although great by all of our players. And then Mephisto has been a main focus for Madara and the rest of the United States. Good in general, but one they really excel at, so that makes sense for the ban here. Now, Tychus, immediate first pick. These transformation characters, always great on Infernal Shrines. Alex Straza, also a support that we could potentially be seeing here.
Exactly. So she would be another one that could be played by the United States here. Banning Kerrigan, making a whole lot of sense, of course. Ultralisk already performing with her. Same can be said also for Nick in the past, but in this tournament, he's been swapped into the tank role and he's been performing fantastically there. But, well, obviously, with Kerrigan banned, what does that leave for Ultralisk? It's Maiev, and that might be even more scary with the support coming up on Uther for Death Knight.
That's right. Pairs well just because you can walk in and help out with the stun, but also you can give the Divine Shield to make sure the Maiev can stay in the fight a little bit longer. And then the added benefit of taking away a cleanse from your opponent. So great pickup here from Germany. D.Va will be the answer. I thought we would see for sure a Malthael as a potential pickup, as they need to earn a W, and it's one of the strongest characters for Liam, but they love D.Va on this battleground.
They definitely do. And the last time that he played D.Va here, he got farmed. I mean, against Sweden, obviously, they were able to pull through in the end in this best of 5 series, but on Infernal Shrines, he got absolutely destroyed by them. So if Germany can just copy that and really focus on the target, they might be able to do that once again. What's interesting to me, though, is that exactly the support that we've been highlighting has been picked as well. So we now have the transformation of Tychus into Odin, of Alexstrasza into the Dragon Queen. Then you have D.Va for the bomb on the shrine, for even more space created with Nitro. this is a pretty annoying draft that they have here.
Yeah.
So a lot of tools that you can use to just lock the objective down.
Now, Liam, of course, as you mentioned, had a hard time against Sweden, but one thing I will say about the United States team, the moment that they lose a matchup or if they have a small break, they go straight into the replay and they figure out what exactly was happening. So expect some adjustments here from Liam, or at least from the team in general, to try and help him not get caught out. Vala will be the van. She's another DPS, a long-range carry that you would love to have, especially around the shrine. Strafe can also be quite useful here, although most of the time we get Rain of Vengeance, so I love that ban. And then Chromie coming in from Germany, as Madara hasn't had his hero picked up quite yet. They're actually kind of focusing him here with Mephisto and Chromie being taken out.
So what's Germany going for right now? We still... Falset is in, so we get the bird very, very quickly here. Hazorp's Malthael gets locked in, so we already have a Divine Shield potentially popping in on Malthael, while Nick doesn't have a hero yet. Now, there is, of course, the option to swap Uther over to Nick and play Uther as a main tank and add an additional support. Highly unlikely, on the other hand, given that Nick hasn't really done the whole lot, and Death Knight has showcased multiple solo Uthers for the team, but still an option out there if they kept some secret strategies back. But I would assume that we're going to get a proper tank for Nick as the last pick, as now Cure picks up Zeratul, which is, of course, big.
A lot of strengths here for the United States team. An insta-pick from Germany as they lock in Deathwing. So they have some pseudo-globals here, some great soak as well, and a character that excels at getting engages with Deathwing.
And that Deathwing tank is something that they played quite a bit also in the round robin. So they're very strong with it. Had a lot of success, and they are showcasing it now here at the playoffs, whereas Cure is going to try and showcase his Zeratul plays. And honestly, I can't wait. I really want to see what he can do. There's a lot of responsibility now on Cure's shoulders, and he has the hero that is impactful enough to just carry the team in big team fights, try and take a squishy down in the back line of the German team. And they need that right now. They need that player that pops off and that really gives them that momentum.
Yeah, the four-man is pretty solid here between Tychus, D.Va, Alex Draza, and Mei for them to succeed on their own and kind of work in a little bubble, and that allows for Kier to go off and do what Kier does, and that's where he excels and makes those plays. On the other hand here, for Germany, though, I love seeing the global usage on an Infernal Shrine. This is a map that kind of pulls your attention over to objectives, and if you want to play the offside of the map, you can squeeze out a lot of experience, get advantages and talents, or even heroics if you do it properly. And, as we saw from the United States earlier, sometimes you can just straight up ignore the shrine and take forts and get picks instead. Yeah,
absolutely. If you have forts on the side lane, you just focus on structures a little bit. You let one shrine maybe go. There's that double transformation too, depending on timings. And when you use your cooldowns, you might be better off just retreating, splitting out on the lanes, trying to find value there. We're going to figure it out in just a moment, as this is game number 3. Germany is in the lead in this series, and here on Infernal Shrines, over to the left, we have
the United States. Kier playing Zeratul, Unaverted on Mei, Liam to play D.Va, Madara on Tychus, and Legacy on the Alex Draza.
To the right side of the map, though, with a 2-0 advantage in this best-of-7 series, the grand final of the Nations Cup. It is Hazorps on Malthael, Death Knight on Uther, Ultralisk playing Maiev, Nick playing Deathwing, and Dino on Falstad.
And just to take away from the ultra serious moment right now, that is a good Deathwing skin. Look at that. That purple, the red, how it all works together. That is beautiful right there. Look at that. Wow.
Beautiful Deathwing skin as well. No chickens today. I love it.
No chickens today.
Yeah, I don't like the turkey. Don't know what to tell you. So yeah, Nick definitely rocking it here. That's a majestic dragon right there. Ah, love it. And he's honestly been playing with this Deathwing main tank extremely well with his team. It was something where, at least initially, I was highly skeptical. I was just like, oh wow, that's interesting what he goes for there, but it works well. I mean, you cannot be targeted with those stuns. You are in a pretty good spot, just like tanking it, and it's working so well for them that they're now busting it out in the grand final. And I don't think that's something that the United States have really seen from them yet, at least not here in the playoffs.
Is he playing in range form, and does he stay that the entire time, or is this more of just he switches between the modes?
Yeah, he's just beasting it. Like, he's just absolute. I mean, again, he's been adjusting to the situations a lot, and this is something that Nick has now done with so many heroes. I highlighted a bit earlier, I think it was in the cast with Baha, that he changed the builds a bit for Sergeant Hammer when he played. He did the same with Tyrael. He just always wanted to go for more aggressive frontliners, and in this particular one, it's just working. I mean, it's honestly pretty impressive.
I actually think that Deathwing in the range form is underrated and not played enough, so I would love to see Nick stick with this. You get the Lava Surge, which you can do from a far range. It's good enough to clear out the back minion waves when you need to. And then, of course, you have this massive AoE with your E that has 2 lines of cracks to go through. And then, if you're team wants to get aggressive, you can stand still and drop the fire breath afterwards. I love this type of Deathwing style, and I want to see Nick succeed with it.
Yeah, they go for the camps now, and Forza is already flying in. Oh, damn, they're going for Tychus, and that stun hit hard.
It's hard to
Tychus.
dodge. Like, I know it's a long wind-up, and it comes in from afar, but Tychus trying to E away, and it goes so far as well. The closer you are, the easier it is to connect as well. Nick, showcasing what this dragon can do.
Yeah, it's absolutely brutal. So already the first kill right here. Tychus got caught completely off guard. It was super interesting, by the way. I talked a bit to the admins, and they said they had quite a bit of fun with this too, because in the tournament format here, they said they've never seen the players discuss for so long whether they want to go for map choice, whether they want to go into first pick and first ban. So traditionally, and if you look at the normal tournament format, it's always, yeah, we want to have first pick, first ban.
Yeah.
British man, like, no doubt about it. In very, very, very rare cases do you see a team that prefers a certain map. But given that now the hero pool is getting slimmed down and you have certain strategies prepared maybe for a particular map, they are really going deep and strategizing what they want to go for here. So it's super cool to see that in the breaks.
It showcases what these 83, 84 heroes are able to really provide from Heroes of the Storm. Now, Liam has built up that little pink bar underneath D.Va that will give him the bomb option, which is needed for this shrine, as it will be activating toward the north side. Germany already beating the punch, though, as they clear out the top and begin farming those minions.
Yeah, 13 stacks now for Zeratul on his level 1, but the lead has been taken and Zeratul is still rotating, so he's side laning it, trying to get the level 7 for the team. Bit of damage also coming in from Hazobs as he's flanking over to Madara and Legacy and forcing the two to retreat a bit. Madara in particular is now just tapping the fountain or waiting for the cooldown. They're trying to re-engage as Germany is pulling further ahead on the objective.
That's right, 14-7 currently at the moment. Alex Raza still does have her dragon form, but Zeratul continues to soak during this phase. This may be something that the United States does give away. You can even use that dragonflight form as a way to defend a Arcane Punisher or any Punisher coming towards you. Iceblock used from Unaverted there, got slightly frightened on being poked out, while Liam has taken his time here to steal whatever he can, gotten a total of 19. Big explosion comes in, and now they have the lead, 29-22.
Yeah, that thing comes in though, they go for the tether, and he still gets away. Nice, good save. May alive, 31 stacks for the Americans, and this should be the first objective to their name. They have it. Nick diving deep. Germany is still looking for kills, but they might be in a bit of trouble here. Once that the Punisher is starting to jump, is going to get that hit. Deathwing already gone.
Oh, no mana.
Zeratul popping him down, and that is the end of Malthael. All of a sudden, the United States with 2 kills to 1, and they are pushing Germany to the limit at the top.
That's right. Deathwing tried to fly in and cut off the flank away from the United States, but the United States finished off the Punisher. They said, okay, we'll fight you. Immediately, Liam jumped into the mech and then held it down. Germany losing 2 members there, and let's go ahead and check out this replay here. You can see Nick trying to cut off in the top left corner with this ultimate. So he go ahead and rears on up, flies to the left, and all the United States was like, okay, if you want to brawl, they run to the top right corner, force everyone into the scenario. And one thing that was pretty important is Malvio was getting low on mana.
Yeah, they really thought they had it there. The problem was the Punisher was already taken. I'm not even sure if they were fully aware of it, because once they're starting to retreat, the Punisher just sits there and says like, well, that's a free stun.
Yeah.
Jumps in, and all of a sudden you see 2 heroes fall. It's, if anything, a bit surprising that the blue team wasn't able to take down the top fort, but they have now taken a half-level lead, and that should give them an early level 10. So
that's a
very nice
time
start.
In the series that we see the United States this far ahead with experience. I want to see what they do with it. 10s are about to connect here. Odin will become available. Will we get the bunny hop from D.Va that has been the main focus so far? You could run for the the ice wall to lock in Deathwing. I haven't seen that before. May actually came out towards the end of HEC, and the dragon falls.
That was a fantastic wall. Beautiful. Donald would be proud. Nobody went through that one. Deathwing down, level 10 on the board, giving them an edge, and they use it right away. We have Might of the Nerazim for Zeratul, so he's going for that very aggressive build that we usually see here. No shenanigans with Void Prison for Zeratul. But that one was absolutely beautiful. Disgusting wall by May, and an easy kill against Nick.
Nick also showcasing a different heroic on the dragon here, as he's actually going for Burn Beneath My Shadow. When you kill a 4, you get a reset on your ultimate, so he can do that Cataclysm twice.
I mean, we're in Berlin. Big walls are to be expected.
All right, fair enough, Mr. Khaldor. Zeratul working on the top side, working on the experience, going to 11.25, 10 and 3.5 here for Germany. And I'm looking at the bottom lane because Nick, once again, flies right off to death and joins his team, and they're trying to keep up the siege potential.
Yeah, already another tether attempt down here by Ultralisk as the party continues with another ult use. The disc is out. They're not really going for any aggressive plays here, though. Ultralisk was hoping to maybe follow up on it, but considering that Malthael is still at the top, Falsight is sitting in the middle, they didn't really have the numbers here either. It's a nice back and forth, though. Initially, honestly, when kill number 1 happened after your 0-2, I was like, oof, this is starting to look rough for the United States, but this fight at the top definitely gave them quite a bit of momentum.
Dino?
I know, sitting at the side here, checking all this out.
He was looking for Zeratul to see if maybe he was trying to back or lazy back, but Kier's smarter than that, went to the top right corner, but does see that the cap is being grabbed at the top left, which will indicate to Germany they should do the same, and they will in the top right. Building up towards our level 13s, Germany has some great isolation tactics to find some picks. Containment disc into the last right, Mighty Gust to push away anyone that's near that containment disc, while the United States has had a lot of great control, and they can also just buy time in fights, right? With that bomb being available, Ice Wall, May. Here we go. Second shrine is up.
Second shrine is up, and both teams are immediately engaging. The double transformation with Alexstrasza and Odin is so powerful in his objectives. This is the first one with level 10 abilities, and Madara uses Odin right away. They have taken a small lead. Here comes, on the other hand, the D.Va explosion, but the kill! The pilot goes down. First stack also for Malthael, and now it is a 4 versus 5. A 3v5 at the bot lane because Zeratul, he's getting big value for the United States at the top. They're not really committing to the shrine at the bottom of the map, and instead let Cure do all the work topside.
So Liam sacrificing his life there to get picked up. But one thing that we did see that Germany made adjustment over Sweden is the containment just to slow down that bomb coming in from that mech, which gave them more of a chance to focus down Liam and tail him off. Dino comes in from the side and goes for an aggressive Mighty Gust, misses out, and now Nick is in no man's land on the bottom left. Should be able to sneak out, though. There is a small corridor.
Yeah, Nick is a little bit on a delay today, isn't he? I mean, first at the top, now down here at the bottom. They're still engaging and pushing them past that fort, but also Malthael locked into a battle with Zeratul as Cure is still looking for a 1v1 fight and breaking through the wall at the keep. He is just crushing it on that top lane, and it's tricky for Hazop to force him back.
Yep, gets the keep wall. Zeratul doing a great job in that regard. Bottom left wall is being sieged by the Punisher, but that should be dealt with by Madara. Meanwhile, the rest of Germany will grab the camp and get that pushing in the middle. 14 to 13 and a quarter as Germany's trying to hang in there, inexperienced, but Kier's decided, you know what, I'm going to come join the fight.
Well, once again, Nick with did he just burn his own boys down? Yeah. So, over here, a little bit more action in the middle, but the level lead for the United States, definitely solid. It's nothing too crazy yet. I mean, it's a 4 down on each side, but you can tell that it's the blue team they seem a little more comfortable in these team fights than they did in the second map. So this composition is definitely playing more towards their strengths.
Yeah, this composition leads to what North America was running for a long time in the HCC for a couple of years, right? Maybe the only big adjustment is D.Va and then, of course, May. Big fight in the top right corner. Another last rights comes in, and Cure just gets deleted, even dropping down a little stamp there.
Goodbye, Zeratul. Easy kill. That is once again Ultralisk's Mayav, of course. He's just insane on this one. Legacy! Oh, yep, that hurt. And now it's Unaverted's time. They did not expect that rotation at all. Clean play from Germany, getting a kill on Alexstrasza. May in trouble, trying to delay the inevitable, but Unaverted is going to fall here. Madara a little bit too late to help out, and whew, that was... yeah, necessary is the word I was looking for.
And they're not stopping. They're diving once again underneath the tower. And this is D.Va. Once again, containment disc does come out. She doesn't have her bomb available here. Nick goes up, and there goes the lockdown. And Liam trying to get away, even trying to bulk away at the last second with his pickups, and it's just not enough. Divine Shield to save Malfio, and Cure now suddenly in trouble. Germany just killing after kill after kill, and they actually were behind experience. Look at the bar now.
Yeah.
16 and 15.
Yeah, we're level ahead, and it just looked so good. And then all of a sudden, heroes just keep dying all over the map. And now Germany has taken down another fort. They have taken the lead in experience, claimed an advantage in talents. And the United States just seems to be completely disjointed here.
Yeah.
They looked so great in the team fight at the top, and now all of a sudden it's just one staggered death after another.
I love that Germany's playing around this burn beneath my shadow. If you kill a fort, you get a complete reset on that Cataclysm, and they're using that to their advantage. They have Maiev who can move forward, go forward to tether, grab the turret aggro, and then you vault up, and that will reset onto another target. And meanwhile, if they know that they've picked off one person already, they have a number advantage, and they keep bouncing around. It got to the point where the United States said, okay, everybody, sit behind a gate, wait, we need a reset.
Yeah. And now, of course, the map currently belongs to the red team. They can take additional camps once that they spawn, can wait for the timers. All that the US can do is sit at the top left. hiding outside of vision as best as they can, just letting Hazorps do his thing, baiting them a little bit into it too. But the blue team is too smart for that. They are sitting there, they have their own level 16 now. That gives them a few big tools here. On the side of Tychus is pretty much completes the grenade build that he's been running, and also a lot of synergy for Alexstrasza. But with the Shrine now coming up, this is really where the United States, they have to make a bit of a difference. This is a great opportunity for them also to not only lock in another Punisher, but also close the experience gap and gain a bit of momentum.
One thing I did want to point out as well, that Liam did make an adjustment after that Sweden game where he got focused down. He moved into the level 13 talent Good to Go, which allows for you to have pilot abilities. You have a knockback now, and you also have a quick dash, which should give him a little bit more survivability after the mech is focused. Liam building up his mech bomb here, Zeratul pushing out the top side, as we have a slight lead of 9-7 for the United States.
Yeah, 6 kills to 3 in total. Everybody poking, prodding. Again, the silence, and Cure taken down. Zeratul just not having the impact they need. Here comes the Dragon Queen, and well, if this continues, then here goes the Dragon Queen. Seems like they're shifting towards Unaverted first. Nick flying in deep, and Alexstrasza is dead, followed by May. Another triple kill for Germany, and all that Liam can do here is run fast, run far, but he is going to fall as well. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, jumps his mech, able to start moving that way, uses the magic missiles too, but here comes Death Knight trying to flake around. Mataras going to try and help him out. Liam, hoping to escape, turns around the defense matrix, focuses it on Falstad, who will be putting that damage. Liam trying, missed his big gun there, which gives him a large cooldown reduction, and now Tychus is in trouble. Another set of the containment just into a silence, and the United States is falling apart.
Absolutely disgusting. Germany is crushing it. Absolutely insane. I mean,
they got a Punisher during that too. Here it is in the middle lane.
How did a famous caster say, hold the lettuce, hold the cheese, because we're going half.
That's right. Full aggression continuing here in the middle side. Cataclysm used, but if they kill this fort, they'll get another reset, and they can start moving in for the end of the game. They're about to hit level 20.
Yeah, they definitely are, and they're pushing in with the Punisher at level 20. 3-level advantage nearly. What's happening here? The United States played so well throughout the tournament. They fought their way through the losers bracket. They took Sweden down. They got their revenge against Germany, dropping a map, dropping 2, fair enough, but now they're getting completely rolled. The Germans, with all the efficiency, going for core at the 15-minute mark.
It's just a story of Relentless versus Resilient right now, and the Relentless is winning as Germany is keeping up that pressure. They finally decide, all right, all 5 are back on up. We got to keep here in the middle of the map, which is kind of the hardest way to end the game, as you are pinched in from the keep on the top side and the bottom side. So Germany's going to play it safe. They pull on back. The United States now have to try and carve out a 2-level deficit.
And that's going to be, I mean, I don't want to say nearly impossible, but it's definitely going to be very, very difficult.
It's freaking hard.
Yeah. Because what are you going to do? You can't really move out on the map and be forced into a fight that you will likely lose, so you have to give up the mercenary camps to your opponent. Germany can attempt to siege up on some of the structures, but the second that the next objective gets announced, blue team has to make a super difficult choice here. If they're able to soak enough experience to get level 20 until then, fantastic. But Germany is just not going to sit back and let that happen. They're going to look A for kills, and if that's not possible, they're going to try and siege down some of these structures.
And they have the Cataclysm ready too. Just keep an eye on Nick here, who should be looking for it. Odin is even popped just to try and have this miracle defense. They know how important these keeps are. Unaverted steps up, tries to keep up the pressure. Nick turns around and gets some decent damage on him with his Dragon Breath.
Dino with a little bit of extra damage against that keep. Mid lane, there's still a camp that is pushing through. 1 level 2 soak for the United States. Can they pull that off? It's looking difficult. They are 8 kills behind at this point. And Cure in particular has struggled, especially Maiev targeting him very heavily. I think it was 2 discs that eventually led to kills, and this time he's missing it. Cure already knows that once Maiev appears, he needs to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, it's a 40-second cooldown that is down. 19.5, United States has held on long enough. Kier constantly trying to keep up the back clearing of the minion wave. This gives him experience, but also stops the pressure coming in. Ice Block comes out, unaverted, runs back to a heal. Will be saved as Liam also brings up the defense matrix. Kier playing with fire right now.
I mean, the good news is they are able to soak 20 before the objective spawns. So as long as they are not dying now, they should be fine to get another proper fight. That's the one that they have to take and win. The problem for them will be that there is no fountain left anywhere close to the bottom shrine, whereas Germany still has 2 forts standing there, so they can always fall back behind the gates into the safety of the fort and tap that fountain.
Yeah, they have issues, but at least they're still out in the game, or they're still in the game, right? Top right, Siege Camp being grabbed. 20 finally does connect. Looking over to the 20s, big red button coming on for our Tychus. I'm keeping an eye on Diva. I want to see where her 20 is going to be. At the Shatter pickup for May, and then Shadow Stride for Zeratul.
Yeah, so this is really where they have to turn it. They're always great in a situation where they're under pressure, just playing it slow, relying on their ability to get another good and decent fight, and this is it. This is the battle. This is the one that they have to win. Ultralisk, he is spamming out these discs whenever he sees Zeratul.
Yeah, Akira's actually starting to bait it, it looks like. He's run towards him, jumps away. He wants to have that cooldown down. Ice Block comes out, unaverted, able to escape away. Hostile goes up for the engage. Liam trying to build up his defense matrix, and now it's time for the Shrine.
You can really tell that Kyo was initially thinking a bit too much that he was safe against Ultralisk, but that wasn't the case. He's now very well adjusting, though, and he's trying to bait some of this out, too. So Ultralisk has to adjust his own style to his opponent. But here we go for that Shrine. Initial lead for the United States. Here's the Dragon Queen. Keep in mind, they got those powerful transformations. It's Dragon versus Dragon as Deathwing is going in once again. The bomb explodes. 23 to 4 stacks in favor of the Americans.
Unaverted playing on that Ice Block. Kira goes in, trying to focus down Dino, get him low on HP. Unaverted continues to get low. Hasselhoff trying to chase, and that's going to actually be a pick there on Alex Straza. Matara trying to siege away at the same time while Liam wants to build up a bomb. Kira on the bottom right. It's 24 to 12 on the Shrine, but the Americans are in a 5v4.
It is tough. They are outnumbered. In comes Unaverted. They need a bit of a miracle. They need somebody to step it up big time, and they're trying to. Can Cure make the difference here? It doesn't seem like it. May goes down. They're just hoping to get the objective. Gust into the disc. Liam! They get the Punisher at least, but they lose Diva. And now Cure gets murdered as well. The only survivor is Tychus. At the top, the keep is under pressure as the minion wave and the camp have pushed for the structure. And Germany, of course, they're going for it. They go for the 3-0 lead. Nothing to stop them anymore. Everybody's dead. It's a 5-man team wipe as Tychus falls.
Yeah, Matador doesn't have the main tool he needed, which was Odin. And now with all 5 down, Germany looks to get an easy 3-0. And man, they flipped the switch in the middle of this game. Still being undefeated here in this tournament. Germany up 3-0 over the United States. If they get one more, they have won the Heroes International.
Insane. Germany with a 3-0. They're still undefeated in this tournament. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
I thought for a second the United States had their number. They were really starting to beeline around. They had that experience move into level 10. Deathwing was looking like it may be a little bit of an int actually with some of the engagements we were seeing from Nick. And then something just happened. Dino made a big play and they just started snowballing, finding their targets, and it just goes to show how much Germany understands this game through and through. Even with the different characters they're having to play, they are pulling it off.
They definitely are. And you can also tell that Dino is, of course, having a big impact here, too. He couldn't go to Miami. He was missing in all of these matches that were played last year. And the players have been talking about it. He was always one of the MVPs. He's having a huge influence in drafts as well and decisions that the team makes. And it shows here, too. So for the US boys, it's getting a bit rough. They are now down to their last leg, and I know they like to go for those reverse sweep attempts, but pulling that off in a best of 5 is pretty impressive. Trying to pull that off in a best of 7 is kind of insane.
Yeah, you would have to go on a 4-win tear in order to win this tournament. But here's the thing for the United States. You don't even think about that. You think about winning the next game. One game at a time. Make the gods bleed, if you will. Earn that W. See what happens when they start shaking in their boots here. And we will be moving forward and seeing what can happen. At the other point, Germany, man, are you thinking about going through an entire tournament without dropping a single map?
I don't think they had any real thoughts of pulling that off. Now, obviously, as all of this progressed, they slowly were like, wait a second, guys. There's a bit of pride hinging on this now, too, if you can pull that off. But given what we've seen, not only in the qualifiers, but also then in the second stage of the tournament, in the round robin, they've been dropping maps. So there were a couple of really tense series that they played, too. But here, things just clicked. Hazu, in one of the interviews, has mentioned that the more they played together, the more of the matches they played, especially for their front line, things just came together, and you can tell in every single one of these fights and engages. Nick seemed to work on a bit of a delay for the first like 5-6 minutes with some of the engages. He came in like 2 seconds late, but then the caffeine kicked in and now he's Gucci. So I don't know, they're looking great. Now, of course, more and more heroes are going to be banned out as all of this continues, but if anything, I would say that favors the German team because they are more familiar with this particular style. You can always say that North America is known to come up with interesting drafts and some juicy plays, maybe a composition that we haven't seen that throw the opponent a curveball. But yeah, it's kind of interesting.
And to give some people at home that may not see, the reason why Germany might be used to this type of format, as you've run a lot of Meta Madnesses, and a lot of these players have played in that. They have played these different characters, and while those were for fun, they're still experience that maybe North America doesn't have here. So I would love to see what the United States is going to be doing here as we move into game number 4. We are working on getting the map pickup and moving into that draft. But for now, as we dig in, what characters do you think maybe that we haven't seen yet need to be pulled in to start working?
I mean, this is only the 4th map right now. What really surprises me, though, is that we haven't seen a single Nazebo yet.
Oh, yeah.
And it's also a bit of a map question because Tomb of the Spider Queen has not been played.
Yeah, just once.
We haven't seen that a whole lot. And Nazebo occasionally made an appearance on Garden of Terror. He made an appearance on Tomb of the Spider Queen. So that's someone that I would have expected to be played at least a bit. Now, if some of these games are going to go to another map 5, then maybe this is still happening. But there were definitely some choices during the qualifiers where I thought, real interesting. On the other hand, we've seen tons of Atanis.
Yeah.
So that was also pretty cool. And from here on out, I just want to know what exactly the American team is going to do because they need to come up with a different strategy right now.
For me, I would love if Bractus Holdus is it taken how you can go for Ragnaros, right, and go for those type of strategies. That is something that NA is familiar with. But it comes down to what the battleground is, and I just got it in my ear. We are moving to Garden of Terror, which takes a couple of those characters we're talking about out of the pool.
I would say Hoga is going to get banned again. We are probably going to see Greymane. Maybe we're going to see Jaina. Anything that can help you with wave clear is going to be very good here. Not only wave clear, camp clear. You want to dominate the mercenary camps, and you want to think also about globals and how they can influence this. Now, Falset has been played. Dehaka is already permabanned. ETC with stage dive is out. I think Abatha likely going to be banned.
And Vikings, though, that's the thing.
Yeah, so those are still the two. I could see the Americans address both of them in the bans during the draft. They did pretty reliably whenever the map was big enough for them.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they did in the series. In game number 1, they banned Abathur and Vikings into Hammer, right? So they are fully aware. And with hostile odds be on the opposing team, you always have to be aware of that. But that's 2 bans that have been eaten up completely. And that's why maybe if it's not banned by Germany, we could see that Hogger slip on through, right? It just kind of depends who has first pick.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody lets Hogger through there, the other team is going to immediately snack him up. 100%. Hogger is just so fantastic on Garden of Terror. He's an absolute MVP here. Other heroes that we could definitely see is, for example, Rexa. Rexa would be a good one to pick on this one now as well, given what's already out. So definitely some interesting choices here. And the one question that I still have, I believe that is actually the map choice of the Germans.
Yeah.
I think Germany went for it. And we have first pick, first ban for the United States. Should result in a Hogger ban, for sure.
Yeah.
But if I'm NA and I see Germany pick such a big map, I would immediately lean again to those bans on the Vikings. It's a little bit tricky because on the one hand you want to ban the Vikings out, on the other hand it hasn't really worked for you so far.
Sure.
Because you just missed out on other bans that might be more important to interrupt the team fight, synergy and potential that Germany has. So either you risk it now and change the strategy, or you stick with those bans and just hope that whatever you're going for now has a bigger success.
The worst part about leaving the Vikings up too, if you do want to consider that option, is the choices that you would normally have to stop them from being effective are out of the pools. Zeratul, Dahaka, since we just saw Zeratul, he can be played throughout the entire series. So Vikings get that much more stronger. There are a lot of ideas that could occur. It all comes down to what's being boiled. But what I want to see actually is what Mataro is going to be playing. We got to see his Orphea actually played, and I thought he played that character stellar. It was on a smaller map. It was on Battlefield of Eternity, but with the Mephisto being taken away, his other option is Lunara, and while Lunara does scale up, it hasn't been as effective as some of his other mages that he's played.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if we're now maybe getting a Zebo pick.
Yeah.
It's map number 4, Garden of Terror.
Big map, can secure 20.
Yeah, so it could happen here now. Greymane will be taken, I would assume, if he's not getting banned out. But Nazebo, if you're playing for late game, if you're really trying to get that viral infection, he could be one of those choices. You want to, of course, slow the game down a little bit if you go for that. But that's one of the picks or one of the potential picks that we haven't seen in the tournament. Yeah. But for 100%, we're going to get Greymane addressed. Maybe even Vala again. there's always the chance that they're going a bit more into what we've seen from Korea and maybe pick up that Jimmy at some point.
Oh, sure, yeah. And the tank is really a focus here, too, as we're starting to get low on our tanks. Zul suddenly becomes an option. You already mentioned Rexar. Rexar was picked as a tank for the United States, and they kind of bolstered out with a Sonya. So all these options are just possibilities, and that's where we're starting to dig deep into these pools. And I want to see if there's this weird composition that has not been played the entire weekend that maybe the United States is thinking about. You know, some have mentioned that there are those Murkies available to you. Murky can be good on Guardian of Terra, and March of the Murlocs is pretty insane around the seeds. That's all I'm saying. If we want to start talking about it, I feel like I haven't said it all for 2 days. So
no, it's not about that. When we saw, I would have much more. I really wanted to see Murky at least once from Sweden.
Who doesn't?
I wanted to see it from Sweden, and we got a Cho'Gall from them, which I really wasn't a fan of. And if instead of Cho'Gall, they just picked Murky for some quarter, I would have loved to see that. It's something that he is kind of known for, and it would have just been so cool. And I personally think they would have had a higher success with him.
Next tournament, we need celebrity all-stars that come in and play that one character that people are just known for, and they are forced to pick that character. That's the change we need.
Yeah, also force in the Butcher, right? A Butcher comp. But one of the fun combos that in some of the troll games that were played in the first qualifier phase, it's still that Octograb Murky with Planet Cracker on Phoenix, and those cross-map kills, just absolutely spectacular. Murky sneaking in on the side lane, and it's just completely solo, jumps in, gets the Octograb, and all of a sudden just says,
it's like a pure cackle fest, right? You're just laughing at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoyable.
Even if you lose the game, it's totally fine. Like, you got your kills,
like,
you know, it's perfect. So, yeah. But again, guys, we're ready. We're going into the next game. Seems like the Germans have been griefing a little bit. They haven't been very punctual, and that's even happening here on home turf, so unacceptable. We're going to kick them out after that. Guardian of Terra, map number 4, match point number 1.
That's right. Do or die for the United States. If they do not earn a W here, they are done with the tournament. Will take second place, and Germany will be crowned the victors. All right, into the bans, and we already talked about it a little bit, but a quick reminder, Abathur, Vikings, these are characters that are going to be looked at for this map. There it is. Vikings just instantly banned.
I mean, it's always a shame, but it's fully understandable. Now, we have 30 heroes. They are not playable again because they have been played in previous games of this series, and then all the 10 heroes that you see at the bottom of them, they have been pre-banned thanks to that crowdfunding campaign and the goals that we've hit there. So 40 heroes in total unavailable as we're going into this draft. That means with 98 heroes in the pool, we still have 49 that can be picked, and of course you still have the bans in the draft itself, where now the United States is addressing Carrigan again. They've already experienced Maya from Ultralisk, and they just say, okay, Carrigan, whatever. We're going to get rid of her as well.
Nick just never says anything. He's just staring straight at the camera, ready to go. Chromie, take it up. Will it be a Mephisto once again? Mephisto is great on this map, especially with the big jumps over the walls that you can use to delay those seats from being picked up. It will be an Illidan as a ban, which does leave a couple of options up for Madara.
This just makes me sad. Like, all the heroes that I want are being banned right now. Okay, I don't want Chromie, but like I want everything else.
Personal, man. They're coming for you.
Yeah, it definitely is. Give me that Illidan. Give me that carry. Ooh. Now we're talking. All right, I'll take it back. I'll take it back. We get the slug.
Our American fans in the front, happy, throwing on their sunglasses, ready for this match, even pulling out the flag. Here we go, man. After pulled in, one of those characters that wants to get his 10 as safely as possible, and Garden of Terror allows it, but that will give Hogger over to Germany.
It has actually happened. Not only did Hogger not get banned, they didn't even first pick him. Instead, Abathur was let through too, and they immediately jumped on the chance to play with the slug. Logical decision, of course. Yeah. But that leaves Hogger and Sonya for Germany.
Now, Ganas can hold that front line. We will need a clone target later on. One of the clone targets you can think about. Greymane is usually a go-to. Jaina can be pretty good as well to bring in those extra Blizzard attacks. But for now, it's all about the foundation of the team comp. Deckard, Kayn, and Mal'Ganis.
I honestly gotta say that Mal'Ganis is one of those tanks that I would absolutely hate to go up against. Yeah. Every single time I see him, when so many other choices have been banned, he's been disgusting. He's so difficult to take down. He has the mobility, he puts everybody to sleep, sets kills up for the team, it's difficult to kill. And when he also has an Abathur that supports him, that's just crazy. So this could definitely be one of the big components in the draft of the blue team's composition that might just help to finally put that point onto the scoreboard and take the first map.
He's incredibly strong against melees too, so with Hogger and Sonya being in there, it's already great value, and it makes your opponent not want to pick into a third melee here unless they find some kind of CC and try to lock him down, but even that feels not worth the trade here. So here we go. Third ban about to hit in a second. It's going to be Lunara, actually.
Yeah, Lunara gets banned against Germany. Pires is out, so again, a lot of the melees are being eliminated. But Germany already starting this with the Sonya and Hogger.
You know what's actually pretty okay against Malganis? Rainer. Because of him being able to have that penetrating round, he can try and knock him away whenever he goes in for the sleep, because you need to buy time against Malganis, right? And Rainer's actually pretty decent at that.
Also, quick reminder for everybody that maybe just tuned in, whenever you see the player switching towards that Excel sheet, this is something that the admins are actually preparing, and they're keeping track of every hero that was played so that it's easier for the teams to see what's available, what they can still pick, so that there's no confusion around it. They don't have to do all of that themselves. The admins are actually doing that for them. So that's why you see them swap over and out all the time. So, as on the side of the Americans, the same as on the side of the Germans. As we get Orphea and Anna. So, Nano Boost.
Nano Boost Orphea. We saw it on BOE. Shout out to Lana, who was one of the lead animators for Orphea. She actually turned in the tournament just to see Orphea, and now gets to see it in the grand finals. Greymane and Phoenix, our first Phoenix of the game.
I'm not a fan of him. I really am not. The US busted him out a few times, I believe, throughout the qualifiers. Not so sure. Greymane I love. I think Greymane is great here. You have a good Greymane copy with Abathur. You have Abathur on Symbiote for Greymane, for Mal'Ganis. So two heroes that are absolutely happy recipients of not only the ult, but also that. And a Kira pick. So, yeah, Kira had pretty atrocious win rates in the round robin. We had 1 or 2 victories, and I believe one of those Ws was by Ultralist. So he believes, and we're going to see if they can pull it off. So, we're going full Wakanda on this one.
I think actually with Phoenix getting picked up, Kira becomes a lot better and elevated in the draft because he has such a massive hitbox, and he does not like CC at all. His kiting is actually pretty darn solid in being able to drop down the Q. Oh yeah, that's true, exactly. But he has even more of an issue if he gets pushed into a fight and has any weird mispositioning issues. He just gets obliterated if you get through that shield. So I think Kira actually becomes a strong pickup here.
I'm really curious if they can pull this one off. I mean, yeah, they have Kira, they have Hogger, they have Sonya, so it's not really a real tank per se, but a lot of melee at the front leg they can sustain through this. It should be good. This is the last leg of the US. They have to play this like really on point. No mistakes, straight down the line, make your plays, take your opportunities, don't run it down, don't overextend. And I believe that they can pull it off. Yeah. Germany is looking for that 4-0. They want to claim the title right here, right now, and make sure that they're winning the entire tournament without even dropping a map. Full domination. If they can pull it off or not, we're going to find out in Garden of Terror.
That's right. The pressure is rising for both of our teams for the different reasons that you just mentioned there. And now it's all about who is going to be able to pull it off. In terms of the draft, I lean towards Germany here with my brain, but for my heart, I'm trying to go for the United States here. I want them to stay in the series. Let's go straight into Garden of Terror. Here on the far left in the blue, this is for the life of the tournament. If they lose this, they are out. They need a W. Liam playing Abathur, Kier on Phoenix, Medura on Greymane, Unaverted Mal'Ganis, and Legacy showing off for Deckard Cain.
And over to the right side with 3-0. The big advantage for Germany. The first match point. The team in red, it is Hazorps on Sonya, Nick on Hogger, Dainu on Orphea, Death Knight on Anna, and Ultralisk on Kira.
All right, let's take a deep breath. Keep an eye on these builds. We're going to look at Phoenix. We haven't seen him for the entire tournament, and it is being played by Kier. Arsenal Synergy will be picked up after hitting enemy heroes with basic attacks 3 times while the repeater cannon is active. The next basic attack with Phase Bomb deals extra damage. So you'll see a 1-2-3 into a switch on his Q and try to go for some big AoE hits. And that's pretty good against melees as well.
Yeah, Abathur, Greymane, I absolutely love what they have drafted here. With Abathur, Greymane, Abathur, Mal'Ganis, you can do a whole lot here. And as a tank, you have such a huge impact, of course, too. But a lot of aggression coming from the German team as well, as that nano-boosted Orphea could do so much work. I mean, we've already seen Orphea once from Dino, and he just absolutely popped off. And the reason why they drafted her, they were asked after the game, so why exactly did you think she was the best choice here? And the answer was simply, well, Dino wanted to play her, so apparently he wanted to play her again, and so far things have been looking pretty good when he was hyped for a hero.
The United States starting to understand that Germany's setting up some traps here. Kira comes in and goes for a full knockback on Madara, but he's going to be taken out there. Ooh, but here comes a Phoenix, and United States will get the first blood. Really quickly, though, I did want to look over to the build here for Kira as the turrets is being destroyed. Maximum effort is going to be picked up here for her at level 1.
Nicely done. First blood for the blue team. So they take down Kira, just as we talked about him. Caster Curse is kicking in early in this game. And Nick is going for camps. We're going to see Hogger do that a whole lot on this map. This is what he's here for. Take one camp after another. Of course, Greymane on the other side, he will do very much the same thing with the assistance of Abathur, as both teams are now going for their first Bruiser camp.
All right, Night Camp will be pushing the bottom lane, one on the top side here. Abathur will need help. This is kind of where it's very unfortunate to be Abathur or have him on your composition. You have a hard time with pushes coming into your way, but you are great at excelling pushes that are heading in the opposite direction. So Phoenix will go deal with that with the help of Mal'Ganis, while Madara will be on his own to work on the Giants.
And top side already a bit of damage done here, of course. Nick is retreating. They're trying to lock him down. Nice. Take out Kane. Slowing this down a bit as well. Abathur is still sitting in the middle, also body soaking this to an extent. Obviously, he's really coming online on level 10 when he gets his heroic ability and can start with the copy. And there's a couple of really, really nice targets on the blue team, especially that Greymane is a juicy, juicy copy target for Abathur.
Target acquired, picked up at level 4 here for Phoenix, for Kier, and that's going to have some great synergy with Abathur with the symbiote being able to slow people later on if they pick up that talent, but also the slows just in general from Decker Kane and any type of route, so that will give Phoenix extra movement speed, which is going to help him try and dodge out on the melees that are trying to rush him down.
Currently, it's just a 2 versus 4 pretty much down here. Greymane is saying hello as well, but they gotta be very careful. Unaverted might be in trouble. The follow-up is there. The seed has not been picked up just yet, but it seems like Orphea is gonna get it. Gets interrupted once again, buying a little bit more time. I mean, this is all that they're trying to do. They're just trying to buy time. They're not really going for it because what they want is to make sure that there's not 3 seeds spawning until Abathur can get his level 10. So you try and just delay this just slightly by a little bit. If you can get 1 seed, it's great, but you don't want to be in a spot where you have to fight against an opponent that has 2 seeds, is threatening the objective, and your Abathur player does not have his heroic ability yet.
Yeah, 2 things that you're looking at when you're around level 7 is, okay, how much damage am I taking on my forts, and then how close am I to level 7, and then how close am I to level 10, as you were just mentioning there. And in terms of all those marks, the United States is killing it. And in fact, they're killing another member. As they jump on top of Orphea, they lock her down. Decker Kane follows it up with a Triangle of Death, and the United States has now 2 kills to 0.
Yeah, Dino griefing a little bit over here. Second time that he goes down. I see 5 reports incoming if this continues. Reports himself too.
Kira not really being able to engage here unless she has her grappling hook or, of course, her E up. Germany going to go ahead and back away and continue hooking themselves. A 2nd seed will spawn. This is actually much more defendable for the United States, especially with Decker Kane chilling over the top side of that fort, as we saw earlier when he was working on the seed in the bottom right.
Top side, Abathur, he's moving between the lanes, making sure that he gets at least a bit of body soak out. They really have to be careful, of course, where he positions himself. There's no globals on the other side, but he's still got to be cautious that nobody just sneaks past it and takes the slug apart. Still a bit of fighting happening, and oof, this could get a bit rough here. Nice stun and unaverted. 1 potion after another, but it's just not enough. Mal'Ganis still goes down. They want the counter kill. Dino is so low, and he dies. Cure goes D, but he might pay the ultimate price for it. And there's the kill. Phoenix gone. It's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Germany.
Yeah, I was expecting the heals there from Decker Kane, and Legacy was there with the potion, but Death Knight able to land the grenade and deny that heal from occurring. Seed gets grabbed here on the far left. That will be 2 out of the 3 needed for Germany, and now with 1 level and a quarter of experience needed, both teams are close to level 10.
Yeah, and that is a bit annoying now for the United States. Honestly, the trade and kills wasn't really too bad for them because it gives them more experience, it accelerates the game a little bit, and they need to get to level 10 as quickly as possible, as we highlighted earlier. Currently on a good path, but that seed is going to spawn at the bottom of the map next.
We do have Healmonger as well as Upstage being picked up for Kira. Whenever she does attack members, she puts a bleed stack on them. When they get below 50% HP, they actually get increased damage due to these talents. So she's going to be looking to try and spread that bleed as much as you can with her weapon. So anyone that gets low on HP, you got to keep an eye on for the United States because they can slowly bleed out and get taken up after she activates her W.
15 seconds now for the seed spawning. At the top, Abathur has been trying to get some experience with the symbiote, and now they're at the bottom of the map, blocking the rest in. So both teams will have level 10 for this fight, but with 2 seeds to 0, the threat is there. Germany now with their ults, same on the other side. We can see the go for the throat right now. Leap has been taken. And of course, a salvo for Phoenix. Lulnado for Deckard Kane.
Helping out with the peel on a Vertigo's forward, looking for a sleep. Gets knocked down into a sleep. There's some full engages from Niche trying to keep him down. Here's a salvo hitting 4 members here. Some decent DPS. Can Kier find the kill here on Hogger? Hogger retreating to the right side. Dino also on the top left, but the Nano Boost has connected, and Madara is forced to pull away. Liam goes in with that clone. It's okay for him to die. It is a clone, but it's still a
still. He was hoping to get some more damage out, so they immediately went for all of their ults, also dropping Abathurst, but they just couldn't get enough. The counter kill would have been fantastic against Hogger, but that wasn't the case. So now they're giving up the position, and with this seed taken, we should get the first Garden Terrors, and it's all about how well the United States can defend here.
Yeah, Germany's going to want to try and focus on forts and try to kill them off with that mule that you mentioned being available here for Abathur. If they don't take out a fort, it can be healed up by Abathur, and that won't be an issue for them as they try to keep the game going. So you see a majority of Germany grouping in the middle, even Hogger rotating over to help out.
7-minute Garden Terrors should be able to defend here quite well, but of course Germany is looking to at least take these walls down, and in an ideal world are trying to take apart the fort to at least one of them.
Germany just tearing through this front line here. Will they commit fully? They're going to wait for another bulb to come out from the Planetara, which will turn up that fort. That'll allow for the melees to step up and start applying damage to that fort. A sleep comes in, focusing down on top of Mal'Ganis. Mal'Ganis trying to stay alive, goes straight into his ultimate, which will make him invulnerable, and he will survive. Kira comes in with a final strike. Not quite the kill they were looking for, and overall, United States holds, but here comes Hasu with a leap.
Big leap, big stun, big kill. Mal'Ganis down, the salvo connecting with 4Q with big damage, but not enough to get a kill. He's forcing them back at least, but they're also starting to chase a little bit, and they need to be really careful. That fort is already gone. You're not going to get anything here. But let's just take a quick breath. It's only one fort. Objective's over. They saved the bottom. They saved the top. As long as they can defend here, they're going to be fine. Even if this one falls, it's not the end of this match just yet. The United States, they are in experience range, which is the most important thing.
Fort still alive right now. Mule was destroyed. It is currently on cooldown, but United States would love to get this fort in the bottom right. Liam steps up, starts to spin here with Phoenix applying his damage. Kier trying to bolster him out as well. No heroics except for go for the throat available for Madara, so they just want to try and push him away. Liam teleporting forward and helping out with that ultimate evolution.
Yeah, Phoenix not really doing a whole lot of damage with the copy there, so always trying, but the heals are coming in from Death Knight time and time again. Also, remember, we got Leap back up, both teams are level 13, but Hasu is going to look for the engage. He's going to look for a quick jump and another kill, and it forces the United States back, and they're losing another fort. That's the second one that's gone.
Experience is still similar though, and remember as we get to late game, Abathur wants at level 20 for the symbiote, get the double hats available for any frontliners. It'll be great for Greymane and Phoenix, and gosh, even one hat on Mal'Ganis can be quite effective. But you are correct, the map is starting to get opened up here, and Germany is looking to be on a warpath.
Another seed is spawning, and the good news is that with the Garden Terror wave over, it's going to take Germany a while to get another objective. So there's no pressure on the blue team. They can play this a bit slower. It's also important to note that with the help of Abathur, they are still looking at a decent amount of experience. They're not falling behind here in any way, shape or form outside of structures, which is of course quite important. But still, as long as they can have even team fight, there's always hope for them to bring this back.
All right, seed grab here in the top right corner. Hard for United States to contest, but they'll take the time to move and grab camps. They would like to be aggressive. There is a giant camp available on the bottom right. But they know they have an Abathur. They don't want to find themselves in a position where they lose 1 or 2 members and let Germany continue to push. They're just going to play it safe and keep that experience, so stay neck and neck.
Yeah, right now, let's see what they can actually do here. We have currently... I mean, I honestly just need them to find a... Well, maybe a kill here. Hello, Sonya. And that is an easy one. Can the counter kill happen? Lulnado is already in. The nano boost has also happened. But look at Ultralisk here. He's in trouble too. Not only did Sonya fall, but he might be the second one. Another lockdown by Deckard Kane. He's murdering them here. Down go Kira and Orphea and Damson. Germany losing 3 out of nowhere.
We were just so close in experience right there, and look at the big jump up here for the United States after a couple of kills. Go to 15 1/4 of experience versus 14 3/4, and now they have walls they can take down. They're finally getting some structures.
Sonya walking right into them. They tried for the counter kill, committed a bit too much, and all of a sudden it is the blue team with the momentum barreling through the top lane, looking for level 16 talents. They take down the fort. What a fight here. Germany got caught with their pants down.
And United States is remembering what happened on Infernal Shrines, where they got a couple of kills and feeling good about themselves and overextended, and not doing that here. They took their fort, grabbed the experience, got to 16, and now they would like to move for their first seed, which spawns on their side of the map. And good news, too, they also have a night camp that they would love to have for that spell armor.
Yeah, really, really well played here. Adrenaline boots now also in on level 16. Those talents will give them a huge boost for the next fight. The seed channel is happening. That's the first seed for them. Nothing that Germany is doing about it. They want level 16 first. They don't want to fight with a talent disadvantage, but they can't be happy with that situation here. That was a fantastic move from the United States, and not only was it a kill on Sonya, but the follow-up was so important. Getting a few more, gain more momentum, use it to take the fort down, and slowly take some control of this game.
But it's very noticeable how big this map and how stretched out it feels once you kill a couple of forts. Look at this here. They have to move into no man's land just to have a position of possibly going in for a fight. Now, Ganos was unable to see where Germany was, so they decided to back away from the entire engagement, and that will be a free clear up for the night camp for Germany, and they get that 16 that you were alluding to.
Yeah, and with 16, we now also have them continuing, of course, with more survivability for Sonya, going for the nerves of steel here. And that's something that she would have needed in the last engage. Maybe she could have survived through it and they could turn the fight. But as is, it's the lead for the United States with level 17 to 16, 6 kills to 4. And now rotation to the top lane with Phoenix Greymane chunking down that wall.
Germany does need to be careful, or excuse me, United States can be careful here because Germany's got a massive talent for Kira at level 16 called the Booming Kick. If you hit one target, anyone that's near them will be effective. It's an AoE kick that stuns all the targets, but they're able to back away at the last second, and Liam, who is using the clone, is going to go straight for the keep.
I got honestly just freaked out for a second because I only looked at the minimap. I see the Greymane symbol. I'm like, do they leave him to die here? Like, what? But that's huge damage, of course. Everybody halved out, and the clone just went for that keep. And they're sneaky. This is sneaky. I like this. Sneak one of them over, half them out. Even if they are sacrificing one, they could just do that and trade for one of the major structures later on in the game, if it's really worth it. But those are some pretty neat and sneaky rotations that allow the United States now to get an upper hand over Germany on the macro.
They're trying to stretch them like Laffy Taffy. Pull them the top side, pull them the bottom side. See if they can find the snap at some point. But so far, Germany has held strong. Looking for a possible flank here. Nick dropping down the Hogger Dynamites, looking if he can get Kira. Kira spots at the last second. Kira unable to grab.
They are so aggressive now with their move here. They really, really wanted to force a fight. Oh boy, if they connect the spear, I can see Sonya leap instantly and try to force the issue. But this is another potential objective now for Germany. They are in the lead, and it honestly looks like the US might be comfortable letting it go again.
Yeah, they had the possibility of going in for the keep in the top right corner with that clone coming up in 5 seconds, but Hasu full aware that gets ahead of that potential happening. Ooh, they might try to go and pick off Hasu off.
Yeah.
Will they do it?
Yeah, Mal'Ganis is moving back now. But they let this go, so they didn't even try to fight for it. I think it's really they want level 20. They're willing to sacrifice a few more structures. They are willing to let those lanes also push out because it just brings experience closer to their keeps. If they pick it up quickly, they will have a talent advantage that helps them to defend against any push that Germany sets up, but it will all go to shambles if Germany picks up a kill.
Yeah, they also do account for what Germany has for siege potential. They don't really have the best long range with their multiple melee pickups, so I can see why they think they want to play the defense around the towers and then get a melee to overextend and make them fight underneath the keep. That could be great for the United States. Hasulab's even in the top lane going to start working on that 4, and this is an easy cleanup for the United States as they build towards that 20.
Yeah, Phoenix is down at the bottom of the map and is doing the same thing. Mid lane is fine, Mule got dropped, bot lane defense also solid. They're even looking to see if they can maybe set something up here against the 4 heroes that Germany is pushing through middle. Nice sleep also by Death Knight, just as we saw Mal'Ganis trying to do the exact same thing.
Trying to demount, make sure Hasu can get that fort.
Very safe, honestly. Again, a little NATO being dropped here. They're just, okay, let's check these bushes. Let's make sure nobody can get close. Guys, buy some time. Level 20, it's coming. We're getting it. They want to fight with the level 20 advantage, and they feel that even when they have 20 versus 20, their own Storm Talents are just better and giving them a bigger boost.
All right, so now when you look at the seeds, they actually are in the lead 1-3 at the moment. This will be the 3rd Garden Terra phase that will be available for the game, and this is where the United States can start to kick it into gear. The 20 finally comes online. Let's see what out there's going to be picking up. Hasn't quite picked his 20 yet, but I'm going to go ahead and look over to Phoenix. Unconquered Spirit. Upon taking fatal damage, shield capacitor regenerates all the shields, so he can now essentially have 2 life bars with the shields here. He can be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, and more NATOs is ready for Deckard Cain, and that's ridiculous if you play it properly. Cooldown reduction is always awesome. Hive Mind now for Abathur. big power spikes on level 20. And the Americans, they feel that, okay, with those, we can definitely have a bigger impact here. They let 2 objectives through. All the forts are lost on the side of the blue team. Only 1 got destroyed over on Germany's side. But this is really where the Americans, they have to decide when and where they want to fight, how they're going to play this one out. They cannot just sit passively back and wait any longer. Germany will eventually take too much control here if they allow them to do that.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how this tornado will be used to fight. So they just drop it on top of Phoenix and let him have a lane to push forward on. That way no one can jump on top of him, and that allows him to put out the damage. Or is it more of a heal for the team in general? So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
They're doing it again.
They're going for the flank on the top right.
These fuckers are just going for structures. It's Red Dota right there. Look at it.
Yep, it's him in. He runs forward, jumps forward. There is nobody backing yet, and that looks like that cake should fall down.
Love it.
Quite quickly. Was that calculated? One more attack, and Liam is able to grab the key. Catapult pressure in the top lane.
Now, they sacrificed the cooldown, and I am curious if Germany just says, boys, he doesn't have copy, let's go.
Yep.
They're going at least for a seed, but it's going to be a 1-1 situation. But these are some sneaky plays by the United States.
And the thing is, they don't really have that play available anywhere else on the map. There's still a fort in the middle and a fort on the bottom side. So if they want to start going for it, it's going to take a while to wear them down.
They don't want to fight. They're afraid of the Germans. And they should be. We're scary people.
I mean, they haven't lost a single map in the tournament. Plus, you're scary people. I mean, it is what it is. All right, so we have multiple people in the middle map here. Hasselweb's and crew grouping up, and they are starting up that siege. You are correct. They're like, you know what? They don't have Ultimate Evolution. Let's see if we can get anything here.
Yeah, let's see if we can get Abathar. He's immediately sneaking away. That could have been awkward for him. So some of the walls are destroyed. I don't think they can poke too much. It's only 20 seconds until Abathar has his ult back.
This is where like having a Vala or a Rainer or anyone that can do damage to a keep starts to hurt Germany a little bit, right? Like Orphea's not going to do the most damage, and that mule will heal it up.
This is so intense right now. The first one to get a kill could build up tons of momentum here. They're playing so... You actually talked about it just after the last map. They are so patient, and they're showing it again. They need to be very careful, because if they play too passive here, it could end in disaster. But they let Germany have the map. There's not a lot to pick up just yet. They're trying to push out the top lane with Phoenix, with Abathar. They have catapults that are massing up now, and eventually that will force Germany towards the top. What are they going to do then? Are they just going to use the same tactic at the bottom of the map, trying to take the next fort down? Or do they accept that eventually it has to go down to a team fight? Because there's 2 seats now on the side of Germany.
Yeah.
So it's going to be another objective if they let this pass, and it's a good position, a seat spawn position for Germany too.
I mean, we've seen this time and time again in the histories of Heroes of the Storm. When it comes to pro gameplay, they've always talked about out there being a ticking time bomb. It's just a matter of when they're going to get that win because of how strong they can be with split pushing. And the United States is buying fully into that, and you're right, once again. Ultimate Evolution, using the bottom right, there goes the fort, and that'll help out with catapult pressure and start to equalize that lane.
Yeah, but they don't even get it. So I don't hate that strategy at all. I really like it. I think it's cool. But I think it's a little bit too late. Eventually you have to fight. You can't just give him objective after objective. Leap is in, Unconquered Spirit not even proc. Lulnados everywhere. Kind of nasty, honestly. Now they're going for Hazov's. Very nice attack. And Hazu, he's really low, but he's still alive as we have NA chasing.
They wanted that fight because look at the top lane. 3 catapults are building up, and with the C coming in here, now they have multiple options of what they can do strategically for this play. Lornado will be up in 4 seconds too, and I wonder if they want to come delay this or just give it up and work on defense. It looks like they're just going to pull on back, prep their lanes, grab the camps as they work on the Giants and weather the storm.
Abathar is getting the bottom fort now.
There you go. Yeah, the little hat, right, Symbiote? There it is.
This is so weird. They let a 3rd objective go. It's 20 minutes in.
And the catapults were working on that top right thing. So actually, I only have to work on 2 terrors here. That's it.
So now they're dealing with the terrors down at the bottom of the map. It's delayed too. they're just giving all the objectives up. They're like, yeah, what are these seats? They're very suspicious.
And Greyman's at its full strength right now with that blunderbuss at level 20, easily being able to clear out. Oh, did he get the blunderbuss looking into it? He actually, yeah, he has a blunderbuss. So he'll be able to clear this up. All he has to do is work on that seed that gets dropped down here. Lead goes in and actually misses.
Mule is up. Hazu losing some HP here. And of course, another quick slap. They're trying to push them back again. Lulnados everywhere.
Rushing
There's
dolls.
the ult, but it's not enough. Dino can't pull it off, and the keep is in play and gets repaired by the mule.
Orphea's short range is just hurting too much here. United States is playing so well around it, and now all they want to do is protect this keep, let it mule on up, rotate to the bottom, and work on that terror there. Uninverted will keep an eye on where the rotation is for Germany. That way Matara can rotate because he is the main wave clear and help out. And there it is. This wall surely goes down, but the keep stays.
It's ridiculous. I mean, seriously, it's objective after objective, and it just doesn't matter. We're on 22 now. Another Lulnado is coming in. Oh! He gets out! Gets another potion, and in comes Cure.
Cure comes in, use that long range for a couple of shots. Matara steps up and starts to get the wave clear. Man, if he would have went down there, that may have been game over. Great save by Legacy, and of course the well.
But I'm still not quite sure how exactly NA wants to win without fighting at all. They cannot always go deep enough to drop a copy on Greymane and take these structures down.
It's a mentally sound strategy, right? Like at some point...
Oh, if I'm Germany, I'm pissed right now.
Yeah, you're angry. You're like, I want to make it work, right? Like if you miss one thing, or like we even saw Hostiles miss a leap, right? Because they were looking for that one kill. And if that happens one more time and you have a quick turnaround, you have a Lornado knock someone into a keep, that's to kill United States, and they have a breath of fresh air.
Let's be honest here for just a second. If there's one team fight where Germany loses heroes, the game's immediately over. You have a double Greymane on the opponent's core.
Yeah.
He's going to chunk that.
Germany, for now, plays the map, keep the Merc camps coming in here, trying to siege apart. Abathur, the one hero in the game that can heal up keeps. It's perfect in keeping United States in this matchup, trying to frustrate their opponents to death.
Yeah, they're trying to frustrate Germany, but everybody knows that Germans don't have emotions, so I don't understand it.
I've seen you giggle a couple of times. Come on, man. You've done it. That little butterfly you feel in your stomach, that's an emotion. It's okay. Let it out. Let it fly. Camp in the bottom right is starting to push in, and we have Germany saying, okay, well, let's go down this way, and a mule is there to answer back. I was hoping Orphea would try to clear that out with her abilities, but she's trying to poke down Uninverted, who's watching that front line. Here comes the Triangle of Death. It connects. Cure keeping up the wave clear. Matter on the side with the blunderbuss, and once again, they are stopped.
Yep, and Nick misses the stun. Ult comes out, Hogger tries to drop it, and it doesn't connect with anything. Germany is looking for these opportunities, and they cannot find them. Hazu jumps in with a leap, doesn't hit anything. Now we have Nick with the same thing. So time and time again.
In all my games of casting Heroes of the Storm, I think the furthest I've ever seen a level get up to is level 28. Right now we're at level 23, the max is level 30.
I think we are going to not go to level 28. I would be shocked if that happens.
You never know, man. It's all about this bend, don't break strategy that the United States are trying to keep up with.
Okay, so now they're going down to the bottom of the map. They might even be able to take the Siege Giant camp here, but 2 camps get taken at the top, and those catapults will be depushed, and they're moving back again.
You would best be ready to gather.
That's a little bit cowardly, honestly.
It's hard because this map is so huge. And remember, this is a tournament
honestly,
live, right?
I thought the French were good at running away, but you giving them a run for their money, I mean, damn, son. That's quite something here. Even Masquerade is sitting in the audience like, come on, boys, let's fight once.
There's always someone better at you at something in the world, right? Never number one. United States here trying to hold to the best of their ability. Unaverted, holding this top left side. And United States pull back once again, playing their side of the map, playing around these mines from Abathur.
It is time.
6 kills to 4, 24 minutes in, and all the patience and time in the world for the United States. This is just ridiculous. I love the double Greymane for structures, but as the map is so big, now they would have to really commit in order to get Greymane anywhere near there. They're just relying on Abathur.
This is one of those games where a sunk cost fallacy is like here. Like, I'm just so invested in this game that I have to see to the end here. Like, I will fight literal death to make sure I see the end.
can you imagine network carapace here?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If he had that too, those side pushes that he executed would be even better. So here's the rotation. Ultralis! And he checks it. He actually checks it.
Smart. Good catch by him.
Really smart play. That was such an important one, so you can tell that they are fully aware what might happen. They're not taking any chances.
And both teams are about to hit level 24. I don't know, Khaldor. We might get to that level 28. There is a 3rd seed coming up. So there will be a 3-wave push coming in. United States needs to prep a lane. They are doing so here on the top side, grabbing the Giants, getting the catapults pushing up there as well, doing a little bit of pressure in the middle so they can have a layered defense.
I mean, I think they're going to lose this eventually. What the blue team is pretty much trying to do is they're saying, okay, you can attack us all you want. Eventually, there is going to be a fight. We are going to try and get that kill, and then we're going to turn the map. But those objectives, they scale, they hurt, and eventually you're gonna lose too much. The walls are already gone. Yes, it's a slow progress, but now there's camps on the way. Now there is... I mean, eventually they're gonna lose another keep.
I mean, at some point, Germany has to commit to an actual keep and getting it killed, even if it may cost them a couple of heroes. But you are right. The fear of a Grey main pushing across the map and going straight for the keep in a core is enough to hold them back. Madara working on the middle lane, clearing it fast. Cure himself will also be working on the bottom side. That is a Mule to help out. Middle lane dealt with quite swiftly. Hasulov is prepping the top side, though.
Yeah, now they're dealing also with the bottom of the map, so there's a bit of a push happening in the middle as Dino is trying to at least drop it a bit. Of course, Mule is going to be super impactful throughout all of this, but these keeps are taking a lot more damage than they did in the previous attack. You can see that is getting scarier and scarier for them. 2 have been taken out, but there's more poke happening now in the middle, and they have to respond to it, which leaves the top Terror still doing some damage to keep number 3.
Yeah, all Madara has to do is leave up and kill that bulb, and then, of course, the keep with the help of Abathur should be able to clear it out. But I think you're right. This one might be the keep that finally goes down. Morpheus sieging, they're playing around the minion waves. It's so tense right now, man.
Yeah, they have to go for it. I mean, I think they're waiting also for Deckard Cain to find... there's another leave Hasu the second time! That can't be happening here. Lulnado, Hasu ops! The ult!
Oh, huge pushing Joel, though!
And this might be just a kill. He's getting...
Oh my gosh, he's alive!
Kira, Hogga, both down, unaverted life! What the hell? Dino about to fall! They're killing 4, they're killing 5! It is a 5-man team wipe!
And now the United States, they all mount up, play around Legacy
You gotta
and
be
Steals.
kidding
They run
me.
to the top lane, and it's gotta be the core that's the focus. There is 40 seconds until the first member of Germany will respawn, and look at the core. United States is already here,
my
and they
God.
are ready to deliver their first loss to Germany. The United States is on the scoreboard, and this series, ladies and gentlemen, is not going to be over. It is dropping 60, down to 40, down to 20, down to 0. The U.S. gets a dub.
What a victory, if you can call it a victory. Oh my God. What a strategy. You could actually hear the players laugh. It's like, what the hell? Incredible. And again, Hasu just leaping in and just completely losing it, getting little nadoed, and then afterwards, Dino trying to save the day for him with a quick ult to zone them back out. But boy, oh boy. If Malganis dies there, by the way, that's probably a win for Germany, but he just gets the ult through, just barely, and then they are able to pick up the kills, and all of a sudden they can cross the map and end the game. Incredible.
Yeah,
ridiculous game.
He had the level 20 sleep, so everyone around him goes to sleep. So if he does die, you're right. Those 3 members don't get put to sleep. And because he had 100 HP, it hit all 3 of them, and that was a cleanup. Incredibly well done by United States. And the best part is we get more games. But first, a commercial break. We come back with game number 5. We're going to watch this entire best of 7 series all the way through. Do we want a break? Yeah, can we please have a break?
Apparently production is getting a little bit cheeky over here. I think I'm going to go back in the production room in a second.
Thank you all for hanging out. Welcome back to the Heroes International. We are amidst an incredible series. Germany currently leading 3-1, but the United States just ripped victory from the jaws of Germany with an incredibly long game, Khaldor.
If you can't defeat them, bore them to death. And
USA, USA, USA. We saw that in the Twitch.
It was so funny. I was like, what was that? And he's like, hey, it worked. Like, they got so frustrated, they were just inting.
He actually gave a shout out to Lutano. He's like, I went to the school of Lutano. He taught me how to play like that. Hey, man, you got to pull from all the resources. But now things are getting to the nitty gritty. We have a total of 50 heroes that are unplayable now in this. We have the 10 that we had banned out, thanks to you guys at home to support, and then 40 because of 40 characters being played by our 2 teams. We have 39 left. Wowzer.
Yes, Dragonshire is the next map, and it should be good.
Yeah.
Obviously, NA. I mean, they're happy that they got the win there, but all of them were just like grinning, getting out of this one. I was like, all right, that worked, thank God. Hazu, not so happy. I was just like, the old man's grieving. He's like, yeah, definitely. So he's ready to redeem himself in the next game now. But definitely a very interesting strategy used by the United States there. But a successful one. They got the win, and that's all that matters at the end of the day.
I really doubt that we'll see any deflation from Germany because of that loss. I mean, it would have been nice to be in a position where you didn't lose a single match the entire time. But I think what will be guaranteed here is that the United States should be feeling a little bit more confidence after that W. They really remained composed, and they had a great mental all the way through.
And they ruined Germany's streak.
Yeah.
They did. So
That's
now
a victory.
Germany, with one loss, that's already a win. The Germans now tilting, of course, and just throwing the entire match. Now I'm serious. So we are going to see what exactly they got up their sleeves now. But of course, it's going to be very cool because now so many heroes are banned as we're heading into the draft for game number 5 in this best of 7. So big lead for Germany. That hasn't changed. Germany against the United States, a 3-1 match point number 2 for the Germans. 40 heroes have been played, cannot be played again. 10 heroes are not playable for the playoffs here for the grand final. In total, 50 gone. As Chromie as the first banned by Germany.
And this is where I become more of a spectator than someone that would really analyze or guess what's going to happen in the draft. Because I don't know what the heck these teams are going to do with only having 39 heroes left over. I feel like I'm playing 2014 HOTS again when there was only 20 characters available.
I mean, given that it's Dragonshire, it would be shocking to not see Rexa here. So
Sure.
that one is more or less a given, I believe. We have seen Abathur, which I think is awesome. Greymane has also already been picked. The Vikings continuously banned. That could have been another choice by Hazorps to really put the pressure on and proxy some waves behind those forts. Mages, lots of mages up.
Yeah, strong mages, also a good focus on Madara to make sure he doesn't get any of those too. Chromie is something they would definitely first pick.
Yeah.
I don't know so much about the Mephisto, but still, Germany playing out on the safe side here.
And of course, you also have Gul'dan up. You can play Kel'Thas at this point without any problem whatsoever. If you want to have a little bit of a roaming composition and try to stack some stuns, there are definitely options there. Tyrande could still be played, if I'm not totally mistaken. And if you chain that with someone else that provides some CC, then these roaming comps on Dragonshire are super strong. I mean, back in the day, one of the strongest was Myrden plus Tyrande. Now, the Dwarf obviously is out. He can't be played here, but you can still substitute in some others. Kerrigan, though, yeah, they don't want to have Ultralisk. They don't want Ultralisk to have Kerrigan. That would be suicidal.
So curious what this first pick is going to be. We're getting limited on supports, and we're getting limited on tanks. It's Rexxar. A Rexxar first pick, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the King of Dragonshire, he dominates that top lane, and one of the roles that comes at a premium at this point is good supports and good tanks. So you gotta branch out a little bit also to those bruisers that you can still play in the tank role.
And we had Rexxar actually played as a main tank by Unaverted earlier, actually.
Yeah.
It was paired with a Sonya, so they had kind of a beefy front line, but you take away from the United States. But one tank that has been left over, one that Unaverted has excelled at in this tournament, Stitches.
This time, it is going to be a bit more difficult for him, though. He has no Medivh. Medivh is no option any longer. Now, that doesn't only impact when he hits a hook and gets Gorge in, so it's not that as easy for them to isolate the target. But also, he's not going to get that vision that Medivh provided him with the entire time, which makes these hooks so much easier. So together with Oriel, we'll see what he can pull off here. Artanis and Imperius are picked by Germany. That is a beefy front line.
Yeah, it's getting to the point here where Stitches actually is really good at getting engages because of the hooks, but if he does get blocked into a location, he melts pretty darn quickly. And now that you have 3 big beefy boys that can surround him, it's scary. Actually, I don't even know if we'll have a Gorge. A Putrid Bile suddenly makes a lot more sense here to help out with the peeling.
Given what Germany has pictures now, it definitely does. And here comes the ban on Tyrande. So I highlighted her a bit earlier because I thought they might be willing to stack a few stuns, maybe even with that Kel'Thas that I pointed out, depending on what mage you're going for. Gul'dan should be still up too. But now that we're having a stun from Misha, we have Imperius with that lunge, you want to get rid of follow-ups, and Tyrande is a good choice for a ban by the United States.
Are we getting down to a Lily, by the way, on support? Are we there now?
I think we're there.
I think we're there.
We're slowly getting there.
I saw he scratched his head there for a second, which is a head scratch is a good indicator of a Lily. Like that means a thought has gone through your brain and you had to itch it to make it feel better. I think we're there.
This is definitely gonna get spicy now. And just imagine if you go to game number 6 and game number 7. The Frost duo, Arthas and Jaina.
I mean, actually here.
Can you imagine what's... I mean, seriously, for a second. Can you imagine what's going on if you're going to game 6 or 7? Look how many melees are being picked here.
Yeah.
Stitch is out, Arthur's out, Rexxar,
That's the last
Tannis,
tank.
Imperius. I mean, it's getting bonkers here.
There's no other tank actually on the roster here. That's the last one available here. So
I mean, you can get Shogun at this point, and it's not even a laughing matter anymore. So...
nutty. And it is Lily time! Lily and Kelthos bring in the clears. I do like the double frost with the Arthas and Jaina to help out with the clearing on the front line.
Yeah.
And Lily is going to have to bring those cups.
Little Song of Ice and Fire here. We got the Fire Mage up against the Frosties.
This makes me so happy. This is the world I want to be in. This is it. I don't want to be anywhere else right now. Not even Australia.
What is Kyo going for? I don't even want to know. It's going to be good.
Zagara!
Zul is still up too, so you could play him as a tank later.
Yeah, true.
I think, yeah, he hasn't been picked yet. So Zagara is in. She has a problem with the hit point pool. She is very much on the squishy side. But if everything that can dive on her is already gone, she is pretty powerful.
And Zagara also here with the level 13 has great percentage damage that can burn through these front lines. There's 3 multiple tanks here that are going to have to take some of those hits, and you have Lily for heals. So it's a net negative for you overall. Now, there are blinds and whatnot that Lily can bring in, but gosh, that head scratch just keeps playing in my head over and over.
So like, oh god.
The Toronto got banned and literally his head went. Oh man, we are gearing up for game number 5 here. If Germany is able to pull off the W, they of course will win the entire tournament and be crowned our champion, but the United States is still fighting for their life.
Yeah, they definitely are. They showed that in game number 4. They are willing to drop some unorthodox strategies. Now we have unorthodox drafts. Can they make Zagara work? They have a lot of slows, a lot of control. You have Arthas, you have Jaina. Can they go for it here? Well, we're going to find out as we're heading into the game. Dragonshire, ladies and gentlemen, is map number 5. As over to the left side, we have the United States.
Unaverted will be playing Stitches. He has been so sound on that character. Kier will be playing Ariel. He is healing here. Liam on Arthas. Matara will be playing Jaina. And Legacy will be your Zagara player.
That's actually wild with the role swap. Over towards the right, it is Germany with Hazorps on Rexa. Ultralis with Kelthas. Death Knight on Lily, Nick on Imperius, and Dino plays his Artanis once again. And I asked this, is he gonna bust him out when it really matters? And he called my bluff and said like, yep, of course, let's go, I trust. With 50 heroes banned, even Artanis is looking good.
He's the best Artanis I've seen in this tournament too, so if anyone can do it, it'll be him. Stitches gets locked down, there goes the Impale. Blizzard comes out with a wave clear, and he's gonna be able to walk away. Blade Dash comes in, but he is able to sidestep with Liam, stepping forward and helping out. Now, talking about the comps in general, oh, hang on. Be a takedown, and he gets picked off completely to the, Mara gets thrown to the top left, and that's going to be an easy cleanup. Germany, here's what they do well. If they can get on a target, they can delete the target, and we saw that there twice with their 3 front liners.
Dino with a God swap right there. Perfect play and a 2-0 kill lead. Yeah, and the United States have actually been saying, like, they're tired now. And I was like, are you sure you played a lot more games than they did? And it seems like Germany isn't tired. They're angry.
Unaverted would just smile.
Well, we always are, so it doesn't matter too much, but still, they're more angry than usual.
You look angry, but you have kind souls.
You haven't been here long, right?
On the bottom right, Giants are getting picked up, and they will start sieging. It's back to the Merc camps here. A slight lead for Germany after a couple of kills, but Zagara is actually in the bottom lane. And I'm actually kind of wondering, do you have a Devouring Maul here with how many front liners on the opposing team? Yeah,
it's going to be Devouring Maul. I have seen quite a few Zagara plays in the context of these tournament rules, but I have never seen an Nidus. It just doesn't get played, and I don't think that this is going to be an exception. With this many melee characters in particular, if you get more through, then you have beautiful follow-ups. You could even combo it off with a ring. You can combo it off with, of course, Oriel. You can also immediately use another Howling Blast. So there's just so much things that you can do with this.
Sure, totally. United States now go on to 4 and checking in the talents to see if there's anything crazy looking up for our players. I want to see what Zagara's going for. Actually moving into the Invindum Spines. Activate to have Zagara's Space Attack apply some damage over 5 seconds to do a proc, hit a front liner, and back away.
Yeah, Misha trying to jump out over here and gets blocked and taken down. Yeah, well, a pretty unbearable situation for Rexa at this point. But I mean, bear with me here for just a second, because I think stalling out that channel really was worth it. As Misha was clawing her way into position, she's just delayed it long enough for the team at the bottom to retake control. So yeah, it was pretty important for them.
Yeah, there isn't really a massive dragon killer here for either team. In fact, I would say Jaina's probably the best representative here for the United States. Germany, if they do have a dragon come towards them, it's going to be rough for them to deal with it, as that fire breath is going to pay off in dividends.
Yeah, mid lane. I mean, one of the things, by the way, that of course Germany has to take care of is all of those creep commands that are being dropped there.
Sure.
So they got plenty that can deal with them, but you'd never want to just let them give the opponent vision, or eventually it's going to turn into a legal map hack. So if you have a Zagara that just goes for a better creep strat than Jadon could ever provide, then you're really in trouble, and you need to get some boys on cleanup duty.
One thing that's interesting is Frozen Waste's been picked up for Arthas on the top lane. So every time that Misha goes in to interrupt or fight for that objective, you're going to have Liam stacking that up. He's already at 45 stacks. He's looking to get to 150 on it.
Yeah, and, well, again, the double control here. This time it is Zagara that's trying to take over. They're going for Dainu, and he's very, very low, and he really has a problem here. Tries to swap himself out. Good moves, but he is going to die eventually. And there's the kill. Artanis gone, and they try for a counter, and there it is. We have Stitches eliminated in the middle, was completely isolated. Nicely done. Imperial is the one with the final blow.
I will say the Hydra is going to have to be a target that is focused here for Germany, especially if you're running into Artanis. As my own Artanis experience is every time a Hydra is hitting me, every single lick is so obnoxious to deal with. Another pick does come in, though, as Jaina is leading the bottom lane and Germany is able to grab the Shrine. It looks like in the top side, Arthas has finally gotten control of that Shrine, but Rex is on the way to compete. Ooh, another combo coming in on Kira. Kira goes to Tainment Strike, can't get out the kill, and Germany finds one more kill. 5
kills to 1, and all of a sudden it's a half-level lead for Germany. They're doing exceptionally well, particularly on the bot lane. Up at the top, there's a fight. Arthas trying to battle it out with Rexa. So Liam comes in with Arthas and says, "This shrine is mine, Hazorps." Immediately replying, "Hold my bear," sends Misha to the rescue here, but eventually it seems to be Arthas that holds true. But now with Imperius rotating in, it's going to quickly turn into a 3v1. I don't think that Liam wants to be a part of it.
And Liam's really building tanky here, going for Icebound Fortitude at level 7. Liam being chased down, gets away with 300 HP, but with 2 members in the top lane, they will be able to take control of that Shrine. But if we run to the bottom lane, the United States is starting to make some progress here, as they've gotten those creep tumors nice and stationed.
Yeah, Unaverted is waiting and misses the hook. Yeah, no Medivh, no fun. So he doesn't get the vision. It's a little bit harder to hit those home. There's level 10 already, and delivery system is hitting Imperius. As the swap, and Zagara does not stand a chance. It's highlighted before. She doesn't have a good hit point pool. She's on the squishy side. Once that you get on her, once that you isolate her, she's a goner.
Yeah, Germany keep on this aggression, and typically in most melee compositions, they do dominate the early game once they move to level 10. United States needs to get to 13 and 16. It's where they have their powerful tools. Jaina, in particular, being able to get that numbing blast, or even moving into the roots could be huge for her with those pickups, but they have to get there. Germany, however, will have the first dragon of the game and will be pushing in the middle lane.
It's still the same problem for the United States. They don't have level 10, so they gotta be very, very careful and slow to all of this. They cannot engage into a real fight, so just poking against the Dragon Knight is all that they can realistically do up to the point where they have heroic abilities, which is going to happen right now. So that's a chance to go for a bit of a fight. We get Gorge again. Aegis is out too. No ring, but the Maw still gets played by Zagara, as we are only waiting for Arthas, who's still teasing for a second Syndragosa, but it is, of course, sustainability that he's really looking for.
Yeah, that is synergized with all of his talent picks, too, as he's been building so tanky, having the block at level 1, the fortitude at 7. Also, by the way, he did finish his quest at level 4, gotten all 115 stacks, so therefore movement speed and attack speed reduction is going to be huge here if he can stick to a target. Germany has Imperius going for an Impale. The United States turns that around easily and finds a kill themselves.
Yeah, Imperius goes down. And if there's, by the way, any character in this entire game that would say it's German, it's Imperius. He's like the typical bureaucrat.
Sure. Wow, Liam gets saved there. Unaverted coming on the right side.
Yeah, Misha. Killed again. Hazorps. Not paying attention, doesn't care, just gets a new bear.
Just leaving the bear there, man. Runs the adoption agency, gets another one in a couple of seconds. Camps will be grabbed here for the top lane. That top lane is going to be a pain in the side of the United States if they can't defend that. Arthas is not the greatest at wave clear. It's so ineffective for him. He has to spend so much mana just to even survive against Misha.
Yeah, they have the kill advantage still, but the kill against... I mean, if they can get these kills with hooks, it doesn't really matter. Even if it's just through a Maw, they can build momentum back up. There's that small advantage for Germany. They haven't really done that much yet in regards to structure damage. The middle has taken some, so that fort is down to maybe 60%. But of course, they still maintain that small lead in experience that will always give them the window where they can attack. They have a level 13 talent already. And also, which is more important, we have nearly a completed level 1 quest for Khaldor. He's actually right there. So now we're starting to talk about a shield. He's going to try and continue and get Mana Addict as high up as possible. But this gives him more survivability, and that's really important for them with this composition. They need Khaldor to be the one that dishes out the damage. And they have 3 frontliners to shield him here.
Misha coming in for a flank here, going straight for Madara. Madara able to turn around, drops a water elemental, slowing them down. Unaverted stepping up, wants to try and find a hook. Great gravity lapse though from Kel'Thas to prevent him from doing that. Unaverted goes for the hook over the corner, and it was close, but Hasuab's knowing the range, able to sidestep.
Yeah, but 13 just kicked in, so if at that point he would have still assumed a level 12 range, he would have been caught and killed. So well done by him. But yeah, everybody's still looking for the momentum. Not a single fort has fallen yet. We're 8-9 minutes in, and of course for the United States, they are fully aware that this is just another match point. So one after another, they have to take these maps on. And they have a good composition as long as they can keep Zagara alive. It's just Dino with these swaps that is just so incredibly difficult to deal with. And of course, if the ult lands Imperious, as he showcased earlier when he went straight for Zagara.
By the way, Zagara making a different pickup here at level 13, going for the spell shield instead at 13 to avoid any type of potential blow-up damage.
Yeah, definitely a little bit scared of what's coming here from Khaldor in particular. But also, what we're now seeing is another rotation down to the bottom. It seems like they're willing to fight after the Gorge has been hit. There's the ult. Dino still in a bit of trouble. Here comes Lily with their own ult trying to save him. He swaps out and Dino attacks. Zagara gone. Misha dead. Dino dies. Death Knight gets dropped. Lily was looking for adventure and the only thing she found was death, as the United States are going for kills on Imperious and Rexa. Hazu getting wrecked and only Khaldor surviving.
Not even a flower for Lily, and things starting to begin looking rough for Germany as the United States will start to open up the map. There is a shrine to the very north. Liam already positioned for this dragon. Let's see if Ultralis wants to even try and delay that. No, he pulls back, doesn't want to deal with any potential pressure that could come his way. And the United States can now look to take out some forts.
Yeah, and they will take the lead in experience too. So the Dragon Knight is here. Everybody, with the exception of Khaldor, still dead, slowly coming back on the side of Germany. And yeah, the US, they want to get another point on the board. So how do the Germans deal with it? Is the pressure slowly mounting up, or can they reset here? Level 16 is available. That means Pulverize. Big talent. Big talent against Germany's composition. So much melee, and Stitches is going to have a huge impact now.
One thing to know is that Lily can get pretty strong at level 20 when she does get her upgraded cups if we do go that route, but that is 5 levels away, so the healing will be a little bit more beneficial, and someone who could use that healing was Artanis. Even in the fight that we just saw down on the bottom left there with the cups coming out, it just wasn't enough to keep him alive, even though they had Snipe Zagara. So look for Lily to get that 20.
Yeah. 16 is now ready for all of them. Feign Death is in. Lily with a little bit more of the Serpent build, but on level 20 is definitely going to be much, much harder. So the United States here still, I mean, they're the ones actually pushing right now. So they move, the hook's so close just between the two of them. Imagine that one connecting, but now instead Stitches is the one that gets attacked. There's the delivery system. The moment when Imperious turns into a delivery boy and he tries to help them with the kill. The older Lily is already out trying to keep everybody alive here on the side of the Germans, but it's not enough. Dino dies again. Artanis does what he does best. He gets wrecked, and so does Imperious. A double kill for United States. They are taking the Germans to town.
With no percent damage, Liam is just untouchable. He is literally just running down in the back line. He was stuck on 2 people, slowing down their attack speeds, which as a melee is such an issue to deal with as you can't turn around. Stitches was full health after that Aegis, and United States right now is in their full power swing at level 16. They grab a fort in the middle lane. The fort in the top side has been taken out as well, and they have full map control.
Yeah, this is looking very, very good for the blue team. After the victory on Garden of Terror, they might just pick up a second win on Dragonshire. They're looking strong here. Zagara's pushing out the bot lane. They have 9 kills to 7. They've taken the 1 level lead. But you should never count the Germans out. They will take everything they can and try and reset here. Get ready for another fight. But of course, the blue team now with a lot of control, a lot of vision on the map, taking the mercenary camps and just trying to get to level 20 and play that window to maybe take down a keep or at least punish Germany a bit more in team fights.
Starting to get some nice living bomb towns here for Khaldor. Speaking about that, the Ignite coming off of the Flame Strike and Pyromaniac. You have to wonder if maybe at level 20, think about the Master of Flames with a lot of grouping that is currently happening for the United States. But we have to get there, as that 19 is about to hit for the United States, and then 17.5 is here for Germany. So they're slightly behind in that regard, and they're playing the macro game. Look in the top lane. Arthas already pushing with the Night Camp that will start sieging on that bridge.
Yeah, and down to the bottom, they are posturing with 4, so Arthas is starting to slowly rotate over, but this camp has to be dealt with. It's the Bridge of Death, never really the lane where you want to push with your team, but if you can send some mercenary camps through minion waves and, of course, catapult, you're always happy to do so. It's also very difficult for Germany at this point to get access to these shrines, considering that there's not a single fort standing for the red team anymore, meaning there's no fallback option, there's no fountain either. And, well, blue team has all of them still in play.
And they have to play it completely around their scouting tool, which is just Misha. She's the only one that can step up and check these bushes without potentially getting picked off. Liam throws a Howling Blast, trying to... Oh, the delay on a hook to land on Misha, so the Dragon Knight can be grabbed. The United States now in a position where they can head out and open these walls. Bottom lane would be the ideal lane, and it looks like they agree as they head that direction as 20 is about to connect.
Yeah, they're in a great spot. They have level 20 and they have the objective. I mean, what more do you want as you're trying to take the first keep of the game down? We got Wintermute. We have also the upgrade immediately for Zagara going into the Pack Instincts here as Cure goes for the 3-2-3 moment. Tactical pause detected by the Americans. Tim, what's happening here?
I think they're thinking about these 20s. Do I grab Hungry Stitches here at level 20?
Like, boys, I never played this. Like, what is...
Like, let's pause. Let's talk about this.
Let me read the tellers first.
We'll see what's going to be happening here. Just checking really quickly here. There was a game freeze that currently happened for them, so that's about it. But
all right.
20s are about to hit. We'll let that one pass for now as they're getting ready to siege on top of this keep, and they're in a prime position to take the keep, get some catapult pressure. If they can find a hook from Stitches, that could potentially be game over.
I love, by the way, how Death Knight is just messaging. My hero is so bad.
He's the one that's playing Lily, by the way.
that is a literal quote in the pause screen. It's just sitting there like, my hero is horrible.
That needs to be a gift. All right, United States rushing to the bottom lane. Germany has to hold out, but they also have to soak a level of experience here. And they will try to do just that. Now, the good news is they do have Ultralisk on Khaldor, so it'll be good for a clear. Brings out the Phoenix as well as they start to siege away, but this keep is just Milton.
Yeah, it absolutely is. So they're going to take this one down easy peasy. Level 20 is helping them with all of that too. And they're looking for more kills, and if they can get one, they might be able to go for core here.
Imperius.
So, there's Imperius. They're trying to start off the defense with a good one. The Maw does not connect with anything. The Gorge, on the other hand, definitely does, and they're trying for Imperius again. Stitches becomes the target. Eager saving their day, and in the back it is Artanis dying once more.
That Numbing Blast rooting him into a position. You couldn't get an auto attack off, and there was no shield available, so one member down for Germany. United States keeping up with the pressure, but they don't really have any major auto attacks. They have to use the Hydra to get this DPS in. Liam on the back right trying to peel anyone away that he can. Stitches gets low. Big shish kebab though coming in. This will be one pick there. Legacy low on HP. Cure will be able to provide him a heal, but it is a 4v4 and Germany's holding.
Misha down. Germany holding for a bit longer, but then they lose Imperius and the core becomes the target. Once again, 11 kills to 8, nearly level 20 for the Germans. But here comes North America dropping their hit points slowly and steadily. Ultralisk looking to get a kill, but he just can't connect those Firestorms. Has a huge problem with the Flame Strike connect on Zagara, at least able to drop some living bombs, but the core is at 50%, and Lily dies, and so does Khaldor.
Rexar trying to hold it here. He feigns death. Misha will be back, but that core is between the fall. There goes a big explosion from Matara, and the United States grabs another victory, and they will be in the series here with a 3-2 score, which is currently favoring Germany. They pulled it off, and they beat Lily. I don't know how they did it, but they're insanely good.
I still can't get over that quote in the pause. My hero is so bad. Like, he was suffering. He was really suffering. So yeah, Lily definitely not the choice for Death Knight as it seems. And we are running out of frontliners. We're running out of dealers. We're going to game 6. We're going to game 6, which means as we enter the draft, 60 heroes will be banned, leaving us with 39. And those 39 contain Butcher, Nova, Murky, Gazlo.
The fun stuff.
yeah, exactly.
The fun stuff's going to begin.
Fun stuff. Depends
the ones that want to stretch your opponent thin.
Yeah.
There are a few heroes that are still trying to make it through the ban phase, and now maybe to start thinking about, maybe we just ban out some things we don't want to play against. leave Vikings open, Chromie open maybe, Mephisto as well. The draft is certainly getting fascinating.
It definitely is. I mean, Game 4 is already getting very cool. Game 5 gets wild. Game 6, we haven't had that yet. So, yeah, with 10 banned completely.
What maps are even going to, too, as well? Did Braxis Holdout get banned out, or is that still playable?
Braxis is technically, I don't know which maps they have banned, but technically in the map pool you have Braxis, for example, you have still Tomb available. Okay. So still a couple of really nice options when it comes to maps just in general. Sky Temple hasn't been played yet either, but what do you pick?
Two out of those 3 maps, Ragnaros Lava Wave is supreme.
I mean, if I pick Ragnaros, I'm picking on...
Tomb of Spider Queen, or Braxis.
Not for Lava Wave.
Yeah. Absolutely. You remember the great days of Alex running Ragnaros on Lava Wave, burning down the waves? Remember the replays, the efficiency that he had?
Remember the win rate?
I don't
Talking
remember
about
that
win rate, by the way.
That was years ago.
Talking about win rate. We answered the question once and for all whether or not you should pick Artanis when you're going up against an opponent that plays on roughly the same level. The answer is no.
The Jaina did make it really hard, honestly. The roots, once the roots came in.
That was the problem.
It
was totally not Artanis. Not viable.
Well, our players are figuring out what exactly they want to pick on terms of map. They're thinking, they're racking their brains here.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about heroes right now. And melee in particular is getting real low.
Sure.
You can pay...
Dual tank is probably going to be played here.
I mean, Abathar has already been played. We have seen a couple of Valera games too. If Abathar was still up, I would say try and sneak in Abathar and Valera. Yeah. But Abathar is already out. Valera herself, maybe if you have a follow-up for that.
Wrong, so Murky's by himself. Like, Abathar actually enables a lot of these characters that you have a rough time with.
He absolutely does.
Yeah, and so him being gone puts a major lynch in the pen there.
This is going to get really interesting very, very quickly during the draft, especially when it comes to the remaining supports. What kind of supports are even still left?
There's
they banned out Tyrande.
Tyranda's the only one that's left, but she's been banned out.
Yeah, but this is one of the things where they could also just try and see, okay, what do you have shields? Do you go for Zagara? What happens with Cho'Gall? You're talking about tanks at the front. If Cho'Gall, for example, is still able to live through this for a bit, then that's going to be huge too. So there's quite a bit still available that is very annoying to deal with.
Zarya's still up. We haven't had Zarya played in this series.
So you have shields?
Zarya helps out with those shields and for aggressive strategies. There is still actually Morales as well. It's actually, now that I think about it, they picked Lily over Morales in that situation. Interesting decision.
Tomb of Spider Queen is the map.
Okay. So Rag is on the board. That's all I'm saying.
Germany picked the map. Yeah. All right, so Germany picking the map, going for Tomb, makes perfect sense. They love to play on Towers of Doom. They love to play on Tomb of the Spider Queen, so this is definitely their pick here. And I'm coming back to that Nazebo. I expected him to be played earlier. So many teams have done that. The stacking is really strong. He gains survivability as all of this continues. If it goes to late game, he can completely murder you. So he is an option. On the healer side, we are so low now in the hero pool on healers that if the two teams would just focus on banning them out, that's definitely going to happen. So oftentimes it's a little bit of a game of chicken. You ban one, I ban one, and all of a sudden nothing is left and just carnage ensues. At some point, are you dropping the Butcher in? I mean, I don't think that we're going to see him, but he could on a bigger map also play some sneaky strategies. Just a couple of, like a year ago, Asmodan, for example, was played a little bit in Europe by Dino because he said, I'm just going to use Demonic Invasion. I move on big maps, go to structures, drop my ult, and just cheese them out. And he could do that here too. You might die, but you're getting structural damage in over and over and over again. So there's a lot that they can still do with that.
I mean, if you commit fully and you are being hit by the opposing team, you can still get about half a fort and keep it. And what we saw that Greymane do earlier on Garden of Terror, Asmodan can definitely pull that on this battleground as well. So, Tomb of the Spider Queen is the map. Our teams are getting ready to go. And we're going to see what's on unfold here. There are some people yelling for Murky. I wouldn't recommend Murky on Tomb of the Spider Queen just because it's so hard to hold on to your gems. And that's a little bit rough.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I had Murky packed down for the Swedes, not necessarily for the Germans here.
Yeah.
I think they would go for much more aggressive combos. You open up maybe... and again, in Meta Madness itself, we've even seen a Nova. I think before you go for Nova, there's a few better options in terms of assassins that you could play through. But I have my eye particularly on a Cho'Gall ban. Because he gets stronger and stronger and stronger as all of this happens now. So once that you pick up your Molten Block, you're a lot harder to kill. Even if there's not that many supports still there, there might be a few. You could get Tyrande, maybe you get Morales. It doesn't really matter. But taking him on without all of the natural counters that you normally have access to is going to be super tricky.
If they leave it with Morales, Morales is an okay option to help out with that Cho'Gall as well, if they do want to go that route. It just all comes down to the bans, right? And do you let the Chromie and Mephisto go through just so you can make things work? Like, they have to make decisions here, and we're about to find out the answers. That's all that matters.
Well, here we go. So we have map number 6 coming up. The score is 3-2. Germany with their 3rd match point in a row. NA has been really starting to not dominate the series, but crawl their way back into it. And if they win now on Tomb of the Spider Queen, they would of course force the final map of this best of 7. As is, 50 heroes are banned because they've been played already, and another 10 are banned because they are banned for the grand final down here. Thanks to the crowdfunding and the support from the Heroes of the Storm community, meaning 60 heroes are out of the pool. That leaves us with 39 as we enter the draft.
Kerrigan banned, Mephisto banned. This is actually a map that you can leave the Vikings open. If anyone were to do it, Hasu could be crazy enough. He has the micro capabilities, but such a small, contained map that the Vikings don't get as much value as you would normally. So that might leave the United States open to find a ban that they would prefer to get with. Even just like an idea of banning Cho. That's 2 hero value ban, which is actually huge in this scenario.
I'm really curious what the first pick is going to be, but in regards to the bans, obviously what we've seen banned previously, you have to get away, you have to get rid of it. Particularly speaking about Kerrigan here, you just can't allow her into this. But yep, here we are.
They're saying, do you want to ban a healer or do you want to ban Chromie, United States? They're thinking about it.
I mean, Lily Morales are literally the only 2 supports that are still available.
Tron and Morales, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. It's late. It's past 10 here. They banned Zarya, and all the healers are left open, and Chromie.
The front line is also crazy. You have Gazlo, Ragnaros, and Thrall that are still up. That's literally it. Zarya, and yeah, you can always try and play Illidan. There is also Alarak available, Zul. So there's a couple of options that you can drop where you might be able to get a tank out of it. Zul in particular can be really sustainable if you play him there properly.
Oh, Thrall take with Earthquake, yeah. Oh, they take both healers, Tron and Morales.
I honestly think this was a really dumb choice by Germany. You know there's only two healers. They must have been okay with it. They must have looked at this and said, okay, let's go. But double support allowed, there's nothing else left. There's Zarya. That's it. So all that you can do, and it's had happened before, by the way. We had teams that went in Meta Madness format. They went for a lot of damage and they just murdered the opponent before it ever became an option. They had so much damage initially that they did not allow the double support to really have an impact here. Tyrande is squishy. Morales can be eliminated. Yeah. So depending on what the United States pick up here, that can still work even though they don't have a healer. But it is still them taking a massive, massive risk just to get that Chromie.
What do you think about double support Zul'jin here?
Zul'jin is rough, especially with Morales support, of course.
Yeah, and they went Alarak here, so that's going to help them get that engagement, right, and go for the combo. Thrall tank makes sense as a possibility, so they ban it out here for the United States. Thrall is actually very hard to kill if he goes for that Earthquake. Yeah. And gets the engages that he wants to. And if you want to try and go for a full lethality, you can go for Sudden Ring. So the options being available is something the United States did not want to deal with.
Vala is also up. They ban her, and they should. So yeah, Vala was still up. You can play Jimmy, you have Nazeebo, there's Gul'dan if you're looking towards mages, of course. Zul'jin, as you pointed out, would be nice for damage. But yeah, it's getting a bit crazy. Zarya is also in, so if they want to go for full sustain on one of the sides, they could play around her shield at least.
We'll see what they're going to pick here. DPS is going to have to be showing up here soon.
I mean, it's wild at this point.
There's Ragnaros! And then a gold and a followed up as well.
Ragnaros in the house. All right.
And Molten Core shenanigans to buy time.
Yeah, now the final double pick for Germany. I mean, let's bring it, boys. What are they going to go for? They go for full aggression. They have Alarak already in. They have Zul. They have some lockdown. They know they can't get a support. The best they can go away with if they want sustain is Zarya, or they go just full damage. Illidan, Gazlo, there it is. The Gas Lord is in the house.
What a fun draft. My gosh. It's got to be a meta, right? Or do you think Illidan tries to like split push and hunt in, right?
I'm actually not so sure. I mean, they want to be aggressive.
It's hard,
yeah?
right?
But Alarak, Illidan, Gazlo, You can definitely push this one hard. They have to. They can't really go into a stage of the game where sustain matters so much because with the double support against them, they won't be able to...
And it's a Butcher for a 5th pick on the United States.
Shit.
Wow.
Just to put this in perspective, guys, when we have an actual Meta Madness tournament, not a Nations Cup here, we had 22 heroes banned. And at some point when we entered the draft, I think there were only like 25 left to be picked from, and Butcher was never played. Nobody ever cared. We saw, I think, in one of the games, a ban on him, but nobody ever played him. So for NA to come in, for the United States to show up here and to say, you know what, we have a double support, they have nothing, let's get that meat.
That's right.
It's crazy.
That's why Butcher is usually taken out. He's still one-dimensional, so he can play around the strategy. He wants to charge in, and he wants to find kills, and he wants to stack beats so he can be great in the late game. And pros are just so good at playing around one-dimensional plays, but... when you're forced in a situation like this and you have double support, win in Rome, win in Germany.
You know what the funny thing is? If this actually goes to game number 7, we literally have no healer left. There's only Zarya. We are going to see Murky at that point.
A tournament champion will be picked on, potentially a Murky. That is so poetic. But we have to get through this game first. The United States has to tie it up against Germany here. Can they do it? I actually, like, you look at this, and I was watching a quick matchup, like, oh yeah, the team on the left probably wins. Yeah.
Well, we got the Gazlog, boys, so he needs to pull it off here. There's also Alarak, and Alarak himself can, of course, ruin any plan the opponent has if the combos stick. And we are heading into game number 6. The United States against Germany, a 2-3 for the Germans as on the left side.
We have Cure playing Tyrande, Unaverted on Gul'dan, Madara on the Butcher, Legacy for Morales, and Liam will be showing off Ragnaros.
Over to the right side of the map, and the man with the blindfold, Illidan, played by Nick, Hazops on Chromie, Dainu on Gazlo, Death Knight is playing Zul, and Ultralisk on Alarak.
Straight to the middle lane. Let's see how it unfolds here. Now, one good thing about the Butcher, too, is although he does want to dive heroes and get those kills for the extra stacks, he does get to stack on the minion wave. He can get blood, it can take some time, he can siege up over time and get stronger. So Madara will be playing around that, and one of the best wave clears in the game, actually, is Gul'dan, so he's going to be able to help out. There is synergy here.
If you are playing without a healer, you need to go for quick decisions. You really need to go for quick kills. You can't play long and prolonged fights. It's just not happening. They go for the Butcher. And Madara, does he turn vegan here? Nope, he's still fine. He still wants the meat. But he can't charge in too deep just yet. The poke is still happening. Nick obviously rotating over down to the bottom of the map. Had to tap already. And that double support is such a huge threat now to the Germans.
Gonna really come down to that wave clear. Safeguard goes up. There's a charge in there from Madara. Tries to look at the target. Both Prison come out for an easy answer. And Madara will be forced to walk away, but still working on those blood stacks, currently at 11. And gosh, it's been forever since I played the Butcher, believe it or not. Let's check out these talents real quick. How many stacks does he need? It needs a total of 200 to unlock his attack speed and extra damage.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while, honestly. So, especially, I'm looking at Alarak mainly. Alarak together with Chromie, if the two of them really vibe well, they should be able to coordinate a lot of burst damage that might result in him getting murdered here. But both Tyrande and, of course, Morales will pay attention. Oh, and that is not looking good for Germany. That got spicy and tricky, but it is instead the Butcher who finds himself dropping low, and both of the supports have to immediately head over to help him out.
Germany is thinking about actually turn that fight around because Morales was low on energy, and that's how she gets that healing beam up. But Gul'dan opened up with a corruption, and that forced a couple of them to back up and heal. Their main source of healing is hitting B.
It definitely is. Which is kind of crazy in and of itself. Now we got the unending hatred of 10,000 Hero League games for Illidan on level 1, and he's stacking that up and trying to get, of course, into a huge amount of damage towards the late game. Trying, I mean, endless scaling, but in an ideal world, they would hope to snowball the game before that. They have a lot of damage, you just need to really coordinate it properly so that the two supports don't play too big of a role here. But over and over again, we're seeing the blue team just retreat, just keep Madara safe, and they know that if they play a slow and calculated game, get the Butcher stacked and keep the two supports ready for him, then they have a good chance of winning this one.
And in terms of Butcher build, we're not doing any tanky talents. We're actually going straight for the Q build, Invigoration and a Cheap Shot. If anyone is stunned or slowed, Butcher will get extra damage on top of his Q when he goes to burn them down. That's synergized with Tyrande, who, by the way, is getting eaten by a Bone Prison. Death Knight steps up. They're trying to go for a kill here. Can they get him? Unaverted, locked down, and Germany will get first blood.
Germany with first blood taken down by Alarak. They're going for Madara again. And immediately, dropping the meatballs, and that is Zul gone.
That's a spicy meatball right there. Big pickup there from Liam as he shows up and shows the power of the Molten Lord. See him all though by himself. Okay, please don't say that after he just died. Okay, he does escape and gets away, but here comes a Butcher running on in, going straight into Alarak. It's going to be on top of a time trap. There's a Luna Flare as well, and Ultras gets picked up, and there's some meat for Madara, who's at 91 stacks.
The B-steps, baby! And the Butcher with 91 stacks right now. United States is looking good. They're looking really good here. 2 kills to 1, taking a bit of a lead, turning in more gems than the opponent already, and stacking the Butcher at the same time. This is looking very, very good for the blue team.
Looking over to Alarak, by the way, he's building into his Lightning build. Extended Lightning on level 1, as well as negatively charged. You see the stacks down there on the side. But, of course, trying to land those lasers on big targets. It's actually be pretty easy here with Ragnaros and Butcher. All they need to do is try and get the angle and aim for that back line. But with a Web Weaver dissension happening for the United States, they're going to look to open up this map.
Yes, we are going to get the first objective in, and both teams on level 7 right now. Now, Alarak becomes a massive, massive threat once he's properly stacked, but also without healers, it's going to be very difficult to keep him alive, so you might lose tons of sadism as the game continues. With the Web Weavers on the ground, they are going to try and poke them out as quickly as they can. Gazlo is already dealing with the top lane. Illidan with no level 7 talent yet, but this is really dangerous for Germany. And of course, if they lose here, then it means they lost 3 maps in a row, and there's tons and tons of momentum for the United States heading into the 7th game of the series.
That's right. Also keeping an eye on this build, I'm just going to keep up on you guys on Ragnaros, moving into his E build, Engulfing Flame, Slow Burn, but he also got Blistering Attacks there, so that gives him slows, the ability to kind of dash up to an opponent, which you can put onto a teammate if you would like, and he will be able to do a quick burst of damage if he does an auto-attack Q combo. Love to see that from Ragnaros players. Dino looking to come in for a chase here, while Illidan sees Morales has been spread off, but with the help of Madara coming in with a charge, they are going to have to back away.
Meat! And he's getting... Is he? Well, Nick, 17 stacks. Oof. That one was pretty close. If he dies there, that's a disaster for Germany. Not only because the Butcher is even stacking more meat, but also because of gems lost. So now he picks his talent here. They're still both waiting for level 10. But very likely that we're going to see a stacked Butcher with a double support. It is very, very likely that he's going to get the quest completed.
Very curious of what level 10 is going to pick up. Lambda the Slaughter can be strong for isolation. Ragnaros taking some full damage though, and Dino goes in and gets the melee. Gazlo finds a cure.
Lord, best Lord, comes in, takes him down. Chromie, a little bit of help from her, not too much. Basically, it was 1v1, and Gazlo just way, way stronger.
United States also rotating in. Safeguard goes up. Madara chasing down Gazlo, trying to go for a pickup here on Dino. They know temporal loop is down. Dino gets low. Can't get that meat though. He'll have to rotate over for it.
Yeah, Gazlo is dead. Got owled hard, but they at least picked up the gems. They haven't turned a lot of them in though. 7 gems is all that they've delivered, and both of the teams are getting closer to level 10 now.
Just a hair away. 62 gems. Hasselhoff going for a drop-off. The trap will hit Madara. Legacy is there every time it's Safeguard. They know that if Butcher dies, he will lose some of his stacks, so they want to make sure not to allow that to happen. Supports are keeping a full eye on him, just full-time babysitters for the Meat Lord.
Yeah, here comes the Metamorphosis. All right, Skeleton Mages. Grab Bomb is in. I'm really curious to see how this is going to work out for Germany, because I gotta admit, when they picked Chromie instead of a support, I was worried. And if they lose here, then it has to be blamed on giving up the support, giving up a healer, allowing...
Lava Wave! Look here in the middle, it's clearing out everything. Look at that value, Khaldor!
So much value, so much value. Both minion waves are being hit, and it is just insane.
I can hear your excitement, and I'm glad that you're...
Totally excited. No sarcasm here whatsoever.
Sim drone on Butcher to give him that extra attack speed. They clear out that middle lane, get that Night Camp pushing in. That is going to be a 120-second cooldown, and at level 20 you can get double them if you would like. Liam here just to make sure that the team does not have to worry about any pushes into their forts.
I honestly don't get it. Like, why would you go Lava Wave here? you have a setup where Sulfuras is more or less a guaranteed kill. There's no healer on the other side. You have Butcher initiating with a stun, Tyrande for a follow-up, and it's not like you're lacking wave play. You got Gul'dan in your mix, and you also got the Butcher, who's also chunking down those minions pretty quickly later. So I think that was pretty unnecessary. I honestly don't see the mad value. I think they would be guaranteed to get kills with a good Sulfuras.
Yeah, but by happiness.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
There you go. See, that's what we're looking for there. I agree with you, though. I think Sulfuras Smash went great to follow up on top of the Butcher. Liam seems to be just trying to hold the lanes though for his team, and he'll play on the Molten Cores as he needs. In terms of stacks, the Butcher is at 153. 47 more, and he unlocks his true potential.
Yeah, so 3 kills to 2, and the red Web Beaver wave is finally descending. All right.
Did we talk about the Gravel Bomb, by the way?
I mean, I mentioned it earlier, but...
It's picked.
It's what?
It's picked. We got Gravel Bomb. It's there.
Yeah?
It's just funny to me that, like...
It's been there for 2 levels.
Yeah, just that the Gravel Bomb's been picked, and it's just like, oh yeah, it's there, by the way. Casual mention. Gravel Bomb. So great at trying to catch multiple people, and it took that. Oh, Lamb straight on top of Chromie. Here's a hard engage into a Lunar Flare, and that is some meat for the Butcher. Looking for more on top of Fear, but the Gravel Bomb
It's a triple! The Butcher is down, and then A gets totally murdered. Get wrecked! What a combo! Holy shit!
That was incredible there. Big setup, 3 kills there, and the Butcher did not finish his quest, by the way. That was such a great play by Dino. Massive turnaround, and it came at the cost of the Web Weavers also playing at the same time.
Incredible! Take a look at this. That was just bonkers. We have a mad combo played out by Gazlo. There's that grabber bomb we've been talking about. Chromie, the bait! And then boom! Gaslord, Best Lord comes in, grabber bomb stuns, and everybody dead and dying. Massive win for Germany in that team fight.
Gave him the clamps, and look at what was done during all of that. A 4 in the middle, a 4 on the top side being cleaned up, and Germany takes the lead in experience, 14 and a 5th there, and they have another turn-in available once they get into position.
That was wild. Really wild. Well, we still have down at the bottom of the map another quick attack coming. We'll look at the red team all rotating over here, providing a little bit of vision too. Nicely done, and the damage is of course now there. Good stacking also in this case for Alarak given the circumstances. 27 on his level 4, 92 sadism. The Butcher, he will complete the quest. It is going to happen one way or another. He's sitting at 172. Even if kill him another 1 or 2 times, he is going to complete it. And if he's allowed to just get kills as the game continues, he will eventually have an absolute insane amount of damage.
This Castle is starting to become really annoying though, due to him moving into his Q build, making sure to have a little turrets nice and amplified, providing slows with the laser as well. Every time Butcher tries to step into a bush, he's met with a little bit of DPS. Dino also even set up for a flank here. If there's a quick rotation by the team, Dino can go for another Gravel Bomb as he's built it up. Being locked down by Mataro though, there's a stem drone. Chasing forward, there's a Lamb the Slaughter as well, and Gazzle will get taken out.
Butcher coming in, chunk, and everything is just dead. He wants
There it
meat,
is.
and he gets meat. Madara with the Butcher, making it work, completing the quest, and they are just dropping them. Nicely done. 6 kills to 6, and once again the 2 teams are tied in experience.
Another full dive here underneath the tower. Matara finds 1 more. Chromie's destroyed in 2 auto attacks, by the way. And then the stacks keep coming up. It's 210 here. Matara trying to survive, though, with Nick going for a chase here. Decides to go and pull on back. Don't want to chase him in there as Legacy has full energy and has tapped him up. Another charge from Matara. He doesn't stop. He wants all the meat.
2 shots in. Gets the easy 2-shot, 220 stacks, and Germany is running out of time.
And they had all the turn-ins too. The gems have now depleted for them. They only have, I believe, what, 8 currently for them. We'll see in a second in the bottom right whenever that finishes up. And so now they have to refarm up. And look at this. With Butcher being done, they're looking at a boss potential here for the United States.
Yeah. I mean, again, if you fight the Butcher now and you don't have any CC to stack on him or anything to really do to just stop him, especially if he has a stim drone, and he is nearly unkillable. You need stuns. A good combo from Alarak goes a long way in this setup, or you can of course try with Gazlo to get another Gravel Bomb going to just stun him out here. But it is wild for sure. His damage is going to spike throughout the game, and for Germany they're trying for a quick boss, but the United States have sniffed it out. The good news for Germany is that they might be behind the experience, but they're ahead in structures.
Yep, he's in a Molten Core. He can siege us completely here from safety.
Yep, Illidan is already moving back. Boss gets leashed. They were trying to sneak it because they know eventually it's going to be taken. And they're going for it. Hasn't leashed fully.
They want to try and bait a fight if they can, but yeah, the leash a little bit too much. Now it fully goes up. Germany able to bolt out the Molten Core, which is a massive cooldown for Ragnaros. Lava will be up in 5 seconds, but again, it doesn't matter in team fights. It's all about the wave domination.
Yeah, it's nasty. They need a really nice move either by Chromie or by a Gazlo, I'd say, to make this work. Here comes the Butcher once again. Go for the meat. The ult is out, and that is the end of Gazlo. The one with the stun has been eliminated. Chromie falls. It's another double kill for the United States. They're going for the triple, and Death Knight falls. Zul is dead, and the Butcher is going bananas in this one. He's going ham. He wants them all. He goes for Ultralisk, and he dies to Madara with so much meat.
230 stacks in particular, and now he can turn his attention to structures. He is hitting for a massive amount of damage, getting that fort down a little bit, and he moves over to the boss. Only Illidan is left to stand, and he can't do anything about this. All he can do is deny a turn on the bottom side, or even drop off his gems.
Madara is a massive griefer, by the way. He just killed 4 heroes. He picked 10 meat up. What's happening here? Priorities, baby. Who wants to win games and take bosses? Go for the meat. We want to see the 300 at least.
That competitive heart, man. Still trying to go for the wins here. And the drop-ins falling afterwards. 23 being popped in here, and that will get them up to the solid 55 they need. So we have 3 web weavers pushing the map and a boss in the top lane. United States is looking to open the map and move in for a keep.
12 kills to 6, 1.5 level of an advantage. They need a big play from Gazlo or Alarak. I mean, anybody could really pop off here. Illidan is not going to be the one to make the play. Zul isn't going to be the one. They need either Chromie with the burst damage, they need Alarak with a combo, or Gazlo with a combo. Those are the 3. Those are the 3 heroes that could potentially make a move here, and they are the 3 defending top lane now. Against the Web Weavers, against the boss, but it is looking very, very grim for Germany. They went Chromie first, they didn't go for a healer, and they got punished by the United States, picking both away immediately, not even hesitating. Germany kind of outplayed themselves here. Another ult by Madara, double support behind him. He slaps Chromie around. That's exactly what she deserves here. So they take another kill, and he just can't stop, won't stop.
And Ragnaros Molten Core form are just sieging away, trying to keep protection on Gul'dan. Butcher goes in once more, takes out another target. That's 4 members down. Ultras underneath the core here, trying to set for safety. But now, the main focus, Madara, goes for the auto attacks, and he is just chunking through this core with the help of his teammates. And with that W there, the United States have tied up the series, and we're going to a game number 7.
We're going the distance, baby. We're going to the final game of this best of 7 series at the grand final. And honestly, that is their own fault. Germany going for a Chromie pick. They say we don't need a healer. And then the United States, they call that bluff. They react immediately. They take the double support and they drop a Butcher on them and just murder them where they stand. One moment, that's all Germany had in this game. One moment, thanks to Gazlo and a beautiful combo. And then after that, the US steamrolled them.
It was a pretty cool moment, to be honest, though.
It was a very cool moment. One of the best plays of the tournament, probably, but that doesn't help you if you lose the series.
True, that's true. I am ecstatic right now watching these awesome characters, and we have one more match to end the entire tournament. I'm so glad that we're going to the 7th game in this best of 7 series, but let's head to a commercial break really quickly. Come on back and finish this entire tournament. Thanks for hanging out with us. Welcome back to the WTF is going on. I'm your host, Pixler, and here's my anti-meta lover friend, Khaldor. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just scared because we are running out of heroes, and we're running out of heroes quickly.
19.
I did not think we would be here. Honestly, after the first 2 maps, I'm like, that's a 4-0. Germany was absolutely crushing it to take the 3-0. It looks fantastic. And then an A gets this 1 victory. The United States, they come in and they really drag it out. They don't fight. And it looks like, all right, cool. They got a map. Awesome.
Yeah.
Now it's over. And somehow they're still winning. And I said this from day 1 of this tournament, from match 1 with the USA, that I am scared shitless every single time when they fall behind because these guys don't give up. And now we're again in the last map of the series.
Germany forgot, man.
It's ridiculous.
That North American players train in NA Storm League, which is Clown Fiesta since day number 1, man. Like, there's a reason why.
That's home turf.
Yeah, this is home turf. This is comfortable for them. As we are getting ready for our next and final map of the series. Winner of this wins our entire tournament and will be crowned champion. United States taking on Germany. We're going to Battlefield of Eternity.
BOE, it is the final map, map number 7, Germany versus the United States. The Germans, with a Chromie pick on the last map, apparently blanking on the fact that there's only 2 supports left and that their opponent has a double pick, and it is just insane. Now there are no healers anymore. The healers are gone. We officially have no healers left. Zarya can provide a shield. She's still up. That's it. Outside of that, we have Cho'Gath, Murky, the Vikings, Kerrigan, Samuro, and Valera, and a lot of range damage dealers.
Samuro sounds great on this map. In fact, it was a mainstay in the past for a lot of our European teams a couple of years ago in HSC. It was bolstered out by an Abathur in some situations, but it is something to note here. Vikings banned out, Cho'Gath as well.
I mean, a lot of teams have already, both teams have, of course, during the break immediately talked also about the draft and thought through what do we ban, what are mandatory bans. And in this setup, you cannot let Cho'Gath through. That's an auto win for your opponent when they pick it. So this is the final one in the United States. You got to make a choice here. What exactly are they trying to get rid of here? Thrall, again, is still up. He's one of the few melee heroes that is still in the pool, as is Kerrigan, and they ban her out. They don't want to deal with her. They don't want to deal with Ultralace, but that means that Thrall is up and Nick insta-locks him.
That's right. You can use him as a pseudo tank as long as you can play around your cooldowns and get that Frostwolf resilience in.
His sustain too, so Thrall is definitely going to be a problem. Zarya and Reyna on the other side, and that's already scary. Those are 2 really, really good picks given the circumstances here, especially since you could also focus onto the Immortal here on BOE with Jimmy on Exterminator. If they go down a path, of course, to be seen, since damage might just be what they need. There's no healers here, so no sustain. Damage is all that matters now.
DPS is something you do have to worry about. Battlefield of Eternity, Raynor, of course, gives that. For Germany, they consider what they have, and it's going to be Zoltan and Samuro. Team Green!
Team Green! Yeah, go Green. We're going Hulk mode on this one. Soljan and Samuro. Insta-picked from Germany. Now, that's a draft for the finals.
That it is. A lot of CC too, already with Thrall and Soljan. Remember, you can get that in-snare later on with the talent. Samuro is great at playing in the back line. He's also really, really, really solid if you are able to get chip damage because he can play around his mirror images. And if there's no healer there, suddenly you have to tap, you have to play around the shields. He is going to stress out the United States.
Vala gets banned. She was actually still up, which in and of itself is crazy. Not picked here. Definitely not viable.
I'm curious to see what Germany is going to be banning out. What would jump out here that they don't want to give anything shield-wise to?
I mean, by the way, when we're talking about green, that's a nice one too.
Okay.
No sneaky kills. We're talking about green. You know what's green too? Murky.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I feel like Murky's going to be one of the 3 heroes that just gets left out behind here, you know? Like, the tournament will be done, and he'll just be on a wanted poster because no one wanted to play him.
I mean, Nova is still there. Probius is there too. So, yeah, Khaldor as well. Also scary, but also very, very squishy.
Yeah, very squishy. And you won't want to pick it at Samuro. If anyone did pick it, it would be Germany. Nazebo and Lennar will help out with the raise. Okay, Spider builds. You also got Ice Block built into level 13 to help you out.
Spider build can be really nice if you just want to poke the Immortal. If you go for a Toad build, you're more interested in taking structures down. And of course, it's all about the stacking. Still a little bit harder here since you're mostly focused onto a single lane. But can still be possible if it's a long and drawn out match, which without support, I don't think we're going to get. But the final 2 picks for Team Germany, they got Thrall, they got Soljan, Nova and Probius!
Strong pokes, small DPS, photon cannons.
Oh my god!
We're getting hectic here. Final pick of the tournament. This is the last hero that will be chosen. Bated breath in seconds.
Tassadar, Khaldor,
I want to hear a Murgle.
up.
I want to hear a Murgle, man.
It's not gonna happen.
I know, but I want to hear it.
As for them!
What a fun composition for both of our teams. And again, if you guys have enjoyed this tournament, if you're enjoying all these drafts and whatnot, let our players know, man. They're going through some mental hurdles right now to put on a good show for you guys, and they have been doing well for us. I am so appreciative of them right now.
Absolutely insane. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Guys, we're heading into the series. Now, once again, if you want to know more information, if you want to participate in all of this, and you're watching this on Twitch right now, also check out all of the commands that you find in the title. You can use them in the chat, and the bot is going to give you links. We have more info there regarding the bans and everything else, so definitely have a look. And in the meantime, we're loading into the final game of the Nations Cup. United States against Germany. And we have an insane draft. Game 7. Never thought in my wildest dreams we would actually be here, especially after that convincing 3-0 lead of Team Germany.
I have heard you use the word insane many times. This is the most apt usage of it that I have ever heard from you, because it certainly is. It's going to come down to Brawling 2. This is like the most brawling map in Heroes of the Storm. It's poetic in its own way how this all is going to conclude. The marathon that has been the Heroes International here in Berlin in 2023 is coming to an exciting end, and I can't wait to see who will be crowned champion.
We've been here for more than 12 hours already. I checked the time, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, it's already going towards midnight again as we are going into game number 7, ladies and gentlemen. United States against Germany on Battlefield of Eternity.
All tied up and looking for the win, the United States, who has trained in the ways of the Clown Fiesta, is here to showcase what they have learned in the many years of playing Hots, Kier playing Raynor, Unaverted on Zarya, Liam on Nazebo, Madara on Lenara, and Legacy playing Asmodean. It's Team United States!
And Germany on the right side after being 3-0 in this best of 7. This is the final map. They lost 3 match points to their opponent. We have Hazorps on Probius. We have Death Knight on Suljin. Ultralisk on Zamuro. Dino on Nova. And Nick with Thrall going for the Trash Lightning. Fantastic talent given the circumstances. He is able to stack this. It's going to be a bloodbath.
That's right, getting more damage, hitting 30 heroes. All he's got to do, and BOE is one of the few maps that can actually pull that off. Dino on Nova is going to be an interesting exchange as well, being able to bring in those snipes. Samiro as well would be the one that if a fort is taken, that's where he's going to start excelling in this battleground.
Lots of stacking, of course. We have Solgen late game. We have Thrall with the completed level 1. He can do so much here. But then Nazebo on the other side, Asmodean, you could try to go for the cheesy draft as well, go for the demonic invasion and drop these structures. Lots and lots of stuff going on here in game number 7 of the Nations Cup. And boy, oh boy, do I have no idea who's going to win this.
Yeah, if you look at the draft and you just try to objectively look at it, United States is a slow burn type of strategy here. Nazebo, Lenara, Asmodean all scale up and take their time. Raynor as well. Oh my gosh, Kier gets deleted there as Nova comes in, and with Zul'jin bringing the auto attacks, you're in a good spot. But if you look over at Germany, I like the early game, but they've also picked a lot of scaling characters too. Zul'jin, Thrall with the Crash Lightning, and Nazebo is looking for those penning shots, or not Nazebo, Nova is looking for those penning shots later on.
One of the things that really makes a difference to me personally is that we have with Thrall someone that has a fair amount of self-sustain after level 7 in particular, and in addition to that, Suljin's level 20, because we could very well see level 20 here.
Yeah.
And I'm usually the biggest opponent for waiting for level 20, and I'm not saying he's useless before that, but just imagining him with the Armani Resilience, it's going to be big. And here come these sneaky attacks. It's a second kill for Germany. They take Nazebo down. It's a great way of preventing him from stacking.
When you don't have a healer, you don't have the safest rotations, right? You have to be really on point, and if you have consistent scouting and finding out what's going on, Nova is the #1 hero killer, and she will find some picks.
Yeah, 2 kills to 0. A lot of poke, of course. And the damage over time that we're going to get from Lunara later on is also incredibly scary. Cure, he is going to be big in this game too. That single target damage that he can provide, the moves that he can make for the Immortal are going to be big as well. On level 1, going straight into the Exterminator. And that means that the first objective is going to be very difficult to win for Germany under normal circumstances.
Yeah, they want to burn it quick. And even looking over to Zebo, who's working on his quest, he's at 41 stacks on his level 1 spiders there, so that'll help out with the DPS as they are sneakily just devastating if they are able to be connected on.
Camps are taken. First Immortal is coming up. Single stack for Trash Lightning. And of course, by now we have also a few stacks towards Nazebo Spider build, which can help a lot if you want to poke down the Immortal. So they definitely got the tools there. They got Exterminator, they got the Spider build. And well, the Exterminator doesn't do any good if he is not alive. So Reyna down. This was Jimmy. And they focus on Immortal #1. It's a quick race, and it seems that Germany is at least going to win the halftime show.
Yeah, getting in some decent damage here. United States will answer back where they can as well, even bringing in Legacy with his Asmodean, channeling that laser. Ultra is hunting down Lenara, and even if he just gets one auto attack and dashes out, yep, it is totally worth it here since there is no sustain. Immortal comes out, Jimmy finally shows up, but Germany has the lead and wants to win the race.
Yeah, and Hazop's going back to the roots here with Probius. He's going full Protoss on us. Stun on the other
Wait a
hand.
minute.
Death Knight, careful, baby. They go for it, and it's a win for Germany with 320 hit points.
That means it'll be a 320 health shield. That's one auto attack for Jimmy in this scenario, and they should be able to clear that up. So we shouldn't see any forts go down.
God. Yeah, but we have an experience lead now for Germany thanks to Probies at the top lane. And just look at how much siege damage has been done here. The wall has been broken, and now the fort is the next target. The level 7 talents are going to make this a little bit easier. And there is the Ancestral Wrath for our boy Thrall. Go green or go home.
Stack it up. That gives you heals and gives DPS opposing teams. Great on Asmodan too because it does percent damage. One thing to look at as well is we did have Rapid Projection picked up by Nova. She's wanting to bolster out this confusion that Samuro already brings by having a bunch of clones running around the map. Reduces the cost by 60% and of course the cooldown.
Not really a lot of stacks for our boy Zul'jin, by the way. He's sitting at only 2, has also 2 for the Arcanite access. There's obviously not a lot of long brawling going on since there are no healers here, so these are just quick and dirty fights and attempts to get a kill.
That's going to be the entire match here. Quick and dirty, couple of picks. Nova's doing most of the scouting here.
It's okay, I like it quick and dirty.
Hey, you do you, man. I ain't going to judge you. Raynor working on the bottom lane here, and the mercenary camps are also being grabbed. A slight experience lead has been grabbed by Germany as we move towards that level 10, and that's where we get to have the real fun as the heroics will be coming online.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's going to change the balance quite a bit. Down to the bottom of the map, Thrall is still doing his thing. They take the camp, and they can go through another wall here. A few more stacks coming together for also Zul'jin, and Bambi in trouble. Mordoror, he gets out. Yeah, that got tricky quickly.
But there was one auto attack from Samuro and one auto attack from Zul'jin, and look how much health he lost. There's just no one here to sing through that. He has to back all the way. Dino in a position where he could have came in here and maybe got a snipe, but didn't see him as the vision wasn't there. Unaverted, however, might be the one that gets the focus. Ultimate's going for the dive, and that's going to be a pickoff. Death Knight able to get away as well.
Samuro is going to murder them. Look at Ultralisk here. That was so mean. Mean and green as Ultralisk came in and chunked him down. Kill number 4. Up to this point, the United States are still waiting for their first kill, and Germany is inching closer, slowly and steadily, to level 10. Hazorbs dominating on the side lane and going for another mercenary camp.
I love how there's been so many fights and those quick and dirty engagements. And then I look over at Probius and he's just beep booping around.
Exactly. Hazorbs is going full specialist now. So he's like, I'm helping. Siege damage, boys.
I got this guy. They'll play around my pylons. Working on the 4 here in the top left corner, and 10 is about to connect for Germany. They are the first ones to get there. In fact, a full level lead over it, and with an Immortal popping up too, it couldn't have come in a better time.
Samura's all over the place, and look at this. He's actually going for the guillotine. We have guillotine, we have triple tap, and triple tap is not a bad choice considering that you're up against an opponent who can't not heal, who doesn't have anything that can prevent these kills.
And you're on BOE. There's no walls floating around.
Yeah.
Here. You have to have shields. That means Zarya has to be sticking to everybody here. And the guillotine!
There's venison on the menu today. Bambi is down, and so is the Immortal. Germany with level 10 as an advantage. They're ruthlessly picking up objective number 2. The United States not engaging, not willing to fight up against an opponent that has heroic abilities. And this means it's a big shield moving to the bot lane now, as Germany is trying once more for 2 forts at the same time.
20,000 HP shield running down, keeping them in range mode. Now, United States will be scaling. They just got their heroics. Hyperion will be massive for helping out the defense and also for trying to keep the DPS up whenever there is a team fight.
This is a pretty sick backdoor.
Sundering.
Yeah, well, they're coming in here, trying to go for Nick. Death Knight is a little bit low. Oh, the guillotine missing. The fort is gone. Both forts have fallen. But I'm looking at what the United States are running here, and I gotta say, this is a pretty sick backcourt. Seriously, you have Demonic Invasion, you have the Hyperion, and you have also Nezebo who can chunk this down. So if it comes down to the wire at some point, and if the United States are able to equalize this a little bit, we could look even at the core race eventually.
Yeah, core race, base race, all those things. The only thing that might be a bit of an issue with that was Samuro if they scouted out with the scouting, and of course Nova as well. That is the advantage of Germany, but it could definitely be fun. Lots of possibilities here.
I mean, the second you go for a Demonic Invasion with Asmodan, I pointed out earlier, just a year ago, he was played occasionally by the European teams for a brief period of time, but the whole idea behind it is you're just dropping it on structures and taking them down quickly. So they gotta sneak around the opponent if they want to make it work, since Germany is pinning them down in their own base now.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it there. Got Nova in the middle, making sure no one sneaks on by, even using her decoys to make sure to scout out for anyone that could be trying to sneak out. Soldier working on the top side, keeping an eye on everyone, and they keep the minion waves pushed, which is your best resource for knowledge and scouting.
Germany with level 13 any second now. Of course, a lot of these guys are going to scale here. And Suljin, he's having trouble with the stacks, which is to be expected. Thrall not getting too much either, but we're also only 8 minutes into the game. The one bad boy that is stacking, that's actually Legacy on Asmodan, so we'll see how that goes. Here's the level 13 talent for the Germans, as Death Knight moves away at the top with 70 hit points.
Oof. Sliver of health. Have to go ahead and back fully home to get healed on up. That'll give a little breathing room for the United States, though, as you see everyone from Germany back away. They can soak up this map, and then we'll see if Asmodan will try to sneak on that bottom side. The one cool thing about BOE is there is a side lanes to the side lanes, so you can sneak through those.
Yeah, I'm still looking at stacks here, and Nazeebo is at 76. That's not too shabby. 132 for Asmodan. Late game scaling is going to be a big factor in all of this. Immortals, of course, you have to win through them. We have 2 forts destroyed on the side of the United States, but they are scaling very nicely. And that poke from Lunara from a distance with the Thornwood Vines is also going to make a big difference. So right now, it's actually the blue team that is chunking down towards the halftime show very, very quickly. Nick with the Sundering! And a quick kill on Lunara!
And getting destroyed there. The triple tap also comes like see into a guillotine. I didn't think about that. The triple cap reveals where they're at, so it makes it easier for Suljin to go for the snipes.
Yeah, and this might be a kill on Legacy. No, he gets out. Ultralisk was over. Another kill. Zarya is dead, and they go for Cure. Another kill. The Germans with 8 kills to 0, going through the United States like hot butter through cheese up here at the bot and top lane as they're taking kill after kill and working towards that next objective.
I think you have become a madman, Khaldor. This tournament format has made things wild here. I thought this was NA's playground for a little bit, but Germany's saying, hey, we can have fun too.
It's incredible. It's absolutely amazing. 13 isn't here yet for the Americans, but it is close, and here we have it. Finally, the ice block for Nazeebo. That one's big, of course, and also more survivability for Lunara with a greater spell shield.
And
this is still not over.
Zarya trying to get away, another wolf going in, hit with the guillotine, it connects, so Inverted trying to stay alive. Pops out shield at the last second, but now they have to worry about some Mortals pushing in the bottom lane, and Uninverted has to heal on up.
15 stacks now for Thrall on his level 1. Once he's done with that, he's halfway done. Once that he prioritizes heroes automatically with every single bounce, the long distance poke is going to be brutal. Sundering used, no follow-up this time, not strong enough, but look at Probius at the top. Probius going for the keep, and down at the bottom of the map, they're fighting with 4 already. A bit of a zoning attempt by Nazeebo as he's going for the Ravenous Spirit, taking the catapults down, but the bottom keep is definitely in trouble, and they are struggling here. Level 16 talents are in the hands of the Germans, and they are using them very well here with Probius topside, dealing with Asmodan at the same time.
Yeah, but United States does hold. They use Hyperion, they get that more cleaned up. It is a keep that is bruised, but at least it's still a keep. Hasuab's able to probe his way on out there, doing some beep boop news. This is warbling, I believe is what it's called, as he heads away from the fight. 16 does connect for Germany, and just look at these stacks here for Thrall. He's at 18 of the necessary 30.
Yes, it's going to be super difficult to stop whenever he completes that. And Nick, I mean, again, he's one of the few melee characters that we have in the first place. He has some CC, most of them don't. So whenever he comes in with Sundering, with a Wolf, he can lock the targets down, and then Nova jumps in, Suljin moves in. Samuro is right there. That's how these kills come together. And it's also, Horobi is pushing and pushing and pushing. 130,000 siege damage for Hasuops.
Triple tap comes in, hitting on top of the well. Actually goes through the well because it's invulnerable. And Snare comes out, there's another guillotine, Asmodan's a backflip, and now he's been picked off.
The big boy is down, and Cure is in trouble. 9 kills to 0. They keep eliminated. Germany on their way towards the core. They want this win. They were ahead with 3-0, and then they started dropping maps. They started bleeding wins, and now on the final map, they want to lock in the big victory. Liam escaping towards the top. Hazops sniffing it out. They know exactly what's happening here. Can they connect the Wolf? Yes, they can. The Ice Block saving the day for just another second, but it is kill number 10 as Nazeebo dies.
Nazeebo dies, and Immortal fades up in 10 seconds. The United States on the back end now. Only 1 cape for them in the top left, and that will be sieged by the Immortal if it's taken here by Germany. The United States getting to a point where they're running out of cards.
Yeah, definitely are. They definitely are. They need level 16 first and foremost, but the problem is also that this objective is going to travel top and attack the final structure that they still have, the top keep. So they need some window back into this, and I just don't see it. they don't have the level 16 talent. The halftime show is already over. They gotta engage into a horrible fight for them. And Nick is also using this to get even more stacks. He's sitting at 21 now, only 9 away from completing his level 1 quest.
United States trying to insert a way forward. They want to get to their Immortals so they can play safe around it, but I don't know if they can. Here comes the Sun Ring once again on Lunara. She gets both in his favor, but a 15 can't be denied. Another pick, and 16 still not there. United States dropping in the Hyperion, and now they're stuck in a weird choke. Ultimus goes for it.
And they're going full ARAM here. There's no kill like overkill. Zarya, she's dead too. Nova, player killer number 1. Dino with no mercy. Nezebo ice blocking, but this is it. All of them dead. The only exception is Cured. He's gonna fall too. It's a 5-man team wipe as the entire blue team gets eliminated, and Hazorp still pushing topside. What a draft and dominance by Germany on the final map of this series.
Dyke going for it, goes to the team, gets the last hit, can't heal up his 2, and this should be the death march here for Germany. They should be able to head in the top lane and finish this all off. What can the United States do? I don't know if they have options.
No, at this point they kind of look for a surrender button, but that's pretty much it. We are nearly on level 20. Germany is moving in, and that would be the defense of the century if somehow the United States would pull this one off. Probius pushing, the Immortal coming through, everybody rotating towards the top, and this looks unstoppable.
Uninverted has used the shield, so Ultras wants to get some damage in here. Steps up, Ultras goes to the back line. Matara and Lunar just having a hard time getting poked out. Down by 90%, Uninverted gets picked up. Raynor is here, no Hyperion for 15 seconds, and look at that Immortal. It's massive. Another guillotine snipe.
A big kill, and here we go. Schlumpt as Germany goes for the core, locks in the victory. It is a 4-3 for Germany as they crown themselves the Nations Cup champions. Ladies and gentlemen, the final map. Amazing performance on the final one. A wild draft and a well-deserved victory for Germany after we had a stellar comeback from the United States.
I think well-deserved is the correct wording here for sure. They came into this match 9-0, moved themselves all the way up to 12-0, and there was one game away from winning it all without losing a single map. NA, resilient, stepping up, doing their best there overall, brought it to a game number 7, but Germany, when it came down to it, was able to pop it off.
And that's it from us, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to head over to the stage now. Thank you very much for watching, and enjoy the champions here from the Nations Cup. Germany made it happen, and we're going to hear from them in just a second with Joy and the boys off at the stage.
It's been a fantastic final. We got to see 7 entire maps in this incredible format. Please give it up for your winners. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Team Germany. With Ultralist. Give it up for Dino! And of course, everybody give it up for the backbone of this team, Hasuops. Let's not forget about Nick. And last, but definitely not least, everybody give it up for Death Knight. Go ahead. Here we have our amazing trophy. Of course we get to... Crowd is going absolutely wild as everybody's lifting the trophy. What a weekend it has been here in Berlin at Experion. And then I do believe that we have Kevin on standby with the MVP award. It has to be. It always had to be. Everybody knew it. We all knew it. Of course, it's Hasuops who is taking home the MVP award for this tournament. Hasu, could you kindly join me? If you could just answer a few questions. We got one from the crowd here. People were wondering, you just played Probius. Was it your time in StarCraft as a Protoss player that got you the win here for Germany?
Oh yeah, I remember how to build pylons and cannons, so...
Yeah, this is one of the many MVP awards that I've had the pleasure to talk to you over. How are you feeling at the moment?
I think my whole team deserves an MVP award, honestly.
I think the crowd agrees. Thank you. Thank you. It's been an incredible weekend here. It's been an incredible time with everyone here at Experion. We are so thankful. We are so incredibly thankful that everyone who came out here. Thank you so much. You guys have been an amazing crowd. And let's give it up one final time for our winners of the Heroes International at the Experion here in Berlin on their home soil, Team Germany. And I believe that will be all for us for tonight. So one more time, thank you very much, everyone here, everyone in Twitch chat. Thank you for joining us as well. We hope we can bring it back for another. Have an amazing night. Thank you so much.